ICENET. Dynasties live here.
This season, the Penguins have the lead in the season series 2-1. They just got off a loss against the Capitals yesterday afternoon, and right now the Capitals have won already against Edmonton, and we got a real jam up in the Patrick division, Paul.
It's ridiculous almost, Mike. The point is the Penguins win tonight, they're right there looking at first place, and if they lose, they're back in fifth place again. And I think what that means is you got to forget the standings for a while. You just got to go out and play hockey and let the chips fall where they may at this point. I think if you start looking at the standings and worrying too much about that, that just adds more pressure to the whole situation. It's tough enough as it is. The Penguins know what they have to do and just go out and start playing some good hockey and hopefully get some wins.
Interestingly, the Islanders are the team on the skids right now. They are 1-5-2 in their last 8 games. So if you just falter a little bit, you're going to be right down in the standings. Tonight, Pat Ricken will go against Billy Smith, and we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy it. All coming up right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Number 5, Dennis Montman. The center, number 28, Ross Basson. At left wing, number 20, Dale Henry. And over at right wing, number 26, Patrick Flatley.
You look like an unbelievable genius to those people over there.
And now we ask you all to please rise, join along with, if you will, with Mr. Joe Durr, Eddie Layton at the organ, the singing and playing of our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Pat Ricken in goal tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And you know his record, 7-5-4, 3.93 goals against average.
And Reagan lifetime against the Islanders, 6-9-2 with a 3.35 goals against average. His last game was at Buffalo. He gave up 3 goals on 21 shots against the Sabres. Well, Billy Smith back in goal for the Islanders again tonight with Kelly Rudy out after having been hit in the head. And Smith with a record of 6-7-2 and a goals against of 3.29.
Bill McCreary will be the referee tonight. Wayne Bonney and Bob Hodges. After playing yesterday afternoon's game, you have a tendency to keep wanting to say afternoon. All right, Bob Basson steps in here against the Penguins' Dave McElwain to begin the game. Penguins moving left to right. Now have Dave Hunter on left wing, Perry Gancher on the right. McElwain's waved out of an opening faceoff. How many times you ever see that? He's waved out. Gancher handles the draw, and the Penguins control. Goes into the Penguins in. Todd Charlesworth just recalled from Muskegon today. Lost the puck. And Pat Flatley of New York winded around the boards. Looking for the left point man. It's Potvin. Gancher beat him to it. And a lead pass now to McElwain. Into the Islanders in. Down the slot. He comes in trying to get a shot up, but he can't do that. Goes to the left wing corner. Shooted in behind the Islander goal. And Dennis Potvin swinging around the boards. Came outside the blue line, and Buskus tapped that puck back in, and the Penguins are guilty of an offside play at the Islander line with a scoreless game 26 seconds in.
Well, our Giant Eagle goal-getter contestant in the first period, Sharon Mildner of Pittsburgh, PA, and she has chosen Dave Hunter as her goal-getter. $600 worth of groceries on the line from Giant Eagle Supermarkets. If you'd like to get in on it, stop by any Giant Eagle Supermarket, pick up an entry blank, and mail it to the Penguins. You pick a Penguin player, and if that player scores during the period in which your name is selected, you win the jackpot. Again, $600 in the jackpot right now.
Todd Charles recalled because Jimmy Johnson is out with a bad knee for at least 3 weeks. They have a brace on it. He'll be on crutches. The Penguins can ill afford to lose any more defensemen. Doug Bodger is playing with a hampered knee, but he's going to give it a go. He was injured again yesterday, and of course Billy Searin and Paul Coffey already out of the Penguin lineup. Islanders direct the puck back into the Penguins' end. Mikko Makala just coming off an injury. He is back out here. Ray Gilbert on the left wing, Makala on the right for Trottier. Now the Penguins force to the Islander line. The Islanders have it. They give it away to Randy Hillier, the Penguin blue liner. Up the right side, looks for Will Paymont. Paymont check, but the puck comes through to the Islander line. Thomas Janssen steer it back to the Penguin zone, and Phil Bourque lays it right back to Islander territory. Janssen moving with the puck for the Islanders, flip it on the backhand into the Penguin net area. Brigham will leave the puck for Phil Bourque, and Bourque throw it up left wing for Randy Cunneyworth. Cunneyworth and Lemieux, the two leading scorers for the Penguins, go into the Islanders' end. Lemieux makes a spinning move on Curry into the slot for Cunneyworth, knocked away. Loney trying to drive it in, and he can't quite do it. Loney's going to play on the right wing of this line. Loney has really picked the tempo up here for the Pens since returning. He tries to check Brian Curran. Curran sailing around the boards for Gord Dineen. Scoreless game, first period. Dineen, the Islander defenseman, decked out in the home whites with the blue pants and the red trim. Fires it up into the Penguins' end. Wayne Van Dorp, left winger for the Penguins. Bounce it up into the neutralized area, back to the Islanders' zone. Brian Curran, Islander defenseman, gave it away to Van Dorp. Quinn at center ice, Danny Quinn. With Van Dorp and Loney now on the right wing. The Islanders take it away, and Brad Lauer zigzag his way into the Penguins' end. Got around Dahlquist for a moment, but couldn't handle the puck. And Dan Quinn slips it back to center circle. The Islanders, as we mentioned at the outset, 1-5-2 in their last 8. And we've got a 4-way tie right now for first place in the Patrick division. A 3-way tie with New Jersey trailing by a point. It is really unbelievable how close these teams are. The Penguins are 2 out of first. Sneak it back into the Penguins, into the Islanders. LaFontaine fires it off the boards on a shot. Basson gets the rebound. Basson backhands one wide of the goal. Now LaFontaine, and the whistle sounds. Yeah, Bob Hodges calling something here. The linesman over to talk to referee Bill McCurry. We might have a penalty for too many men on the ice. It might be the Islanders. 17:23 to go in the first period. We'll return. It looks like the Islanders will pick up a minor penalty, and we'll be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network. Does yours sound real tinny to you?
Oh yeah, real distorted.
Man, sounds so. We got a real distortion in the headsets here. Yeah. It's not very clear. It's almost like a battery is weak or something. You know that.
By number 20, Dale Henry.
Penguin power play with Mario Lemieux on here with Randy Cunneyworth and Jock Callender. Penguins tonight on the power play come into the league 13th in the NHL at 19.5 in the conversion rate. The Islanders are 15th in penalty killing at 77%. Doug Bodger with the Penguins. He'll be a little slow on skates. He's still hampered by that knee problem, and Lemieux takes it in. He's hammered on a good check by Gerald Diddick, but the Penguins control the puck. Jock Callender, Lemieux the number 2 scorer in the NHL. Now Lemieux works the left wing corner of the Islanders zone. Number 66 passing to Callender, up halfway up. DeBourque left point, a shot, and it misses the net wide of Billy Smith, and the Islanders clear. Richard Crom doing the job.
The Islanders have been giving up a ton of power play goals, Mike, and the one thing they did not want to do tonight was take a lot of penalties against the Penguins. They're the least penalized team in the league, but they have been having trouble killing them, and the Penguins with a great opportunity here to take the lead, a rarity.
Penguins in the first 3 games of the series are 4 for 18, 22.6%. A pretty good split. And whacked around the boards with the Islanders again and up ice, and Pat Brigham will have to stop it, the Penguins starting goaltender. 57 seconds to go in the penalty to the Islanders. Dale Henry serving the minor. And on the move, Phil Bourque. Bourque with a good burst of speed coming to center. Knocked it by Trottier, the Islander penalty killer, in behind the Islander net. Dineen goes after it, backhands it around to Trottier. And he whips it up the sideboards and again back to the Penguin line. Bourque will dish it off this time to Dan Quinn, the Penguin center iceman. Right wing to Lemieux. Steer it up into the Islanders' left wing corner. Nobody there but Islanders. And here's Trontier golfing the puck out up to Crom. Crom at center for New York, and he spins it all the way to the Penguin zone. Penguins haven't had a shot on goal, I don't believe, here on this power play. Now Loney cruising to the Islander line, trying to get in. Goes to Lemieux, left wing boards. Lemieux handles that puck now. Waits, shoot it in front. Did it go in? No, it went wide. For a moment, it might have been in behind Billy Smith. He wasn't quite sure where it was. Comes all the way back to center ice. 5 seconds on the penalty, and dished again to the Islanders end. Lemieux comes up with it near boards, near corner to Quinn. Right point to Hillier. A shot, and was deflected, and it comes out to Todd McClellan, the rookie. Turn it over to Crom. The penalty has expired. Crom now to Dale Henry, and he's hit by Hillier. The puck free into the Penguins end. Hillier sweep it on the backhand away, and here's Dave Hunter after it. Hunter against Diddick one-on-one. He's way wide on the play. Coming to the Islanders end. He stops on the left wing board. Now goes to the corner with the puck. Diddick's after him. Checks him with a stick. It comes to McElwain, and his slam shot missed the goal. Off the right wing boards. Hillier. Shoot it in behind the referee in the near corner. McCreary, it hops in behind the net. The Islanders take command of it, and Pat Flatley lead it ahead up the center to Dale Henry. Work it back into Penguin territory. Hillier of Pittsburgh takes a check from Flatley as he deals it back to center. The Penguins do come up with it. Dave Hunter skating right back to the Islanders line, and Perry Ganchar is offside on the play, and the Penguins will have a face-off outside of the Islander line. So the Penguins fail on the power play to pick up a shot on goal on Billy Smith. The scratches tonight for the Penguins include some big names.
I'll say for the Penguins, Paul Coffey, Billy Searin, Dan Frawley. Chris Cottos is scratched tonight. He's not injured. He just is scratched. Lee Giffen is out. Bob Airy also scratched, and as is Jimmy Johnson. Add him to the list. Mark Kachowski also scratched tonight for the Penguins. And for the Islanders, Mike Bossy out all season long. Brent Sutter is out. His losses really hurt the Islanders. Ken Leiter and Kenny Morrow, a couple of defensemen. Boy, Brent Sutter, their captain, and the leadership is missing, and also the fact that Sutter has not been able to contribute offensively or defensively for this team, not being in the lineup.
Todd McClellan, recalled from Springfield of the American Hockey League, a 5th-round draft choice in '86. And he is up. They just sent Derek King and Brad Delgarno down to the Springfield team, and I was kind of curious on the paper and the reports, and if they're accurate in the quote saying that they felt that the rookies had to get themselves going. They felt they were a big part of this. Well, it's kind of an undue type of thing. You don't usually see the pressure put on the rookies as having to carry a hockey club. And I'm wondering really if the people involved were misquoted or along those lines. It was kind of made inferences to Coach Terry Simpson, the fact that the rookies weren't doing anything. But that usually is not the case. Coaches usually don't do that. Offside play against the Islanders as they come to the Penguins in.
Well, I heard Terry Simpson before the game talking about that very subject. And what he said about Delgarno was that early in the season, Delgarno was really grinding. And in the case of Derek King, well, he just was lazy. That's the word that Terry Simpson used. He says King has been lazy lately. And I think what's happened, Mike, is those two were handed positions in the NHL, and maybe they just thought it was going to be a little easier than it is, and they want to send them back, give them a taste of what it's like in the minor leagues, give them that idea, that from that perspective, they might come back here and play a little differently. What he said was they got to go down there and earn themselves the position again on the Islanders team.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting he would say that because there isn't any question that by sending them down, they sent a message to them, but in addition, you rarely see the fault really put on the rookies, but the way you're talking to Simpson, it seemed to me he did put quite a bit of blame, if you will. The rookies weren't carrying the load with this club. Here's Curran coming to center, so maybe the report was not all that inaccurate. At center ice, Randy Wood leave it at the Islander line for Gord Dineen. Near side pass to Brian Curran. He'll slap the puck into the Penguin zone. Around the right wing boards in a scoreless game, first period. Penguins' Charlie Simmer looks for it. Todd Charlesworth, left-handed shooting defenseman, just called up wearing number 6, and we'll tell you why in a moment. Why he's wearing Jimmy Johnson's number is tapped away off the boards and whacked back in behind the Islander net. Conroy defensively going to Randy Wood. 6.5 gone. First period, no score. Callender deals it up into the Islanders' end. Scott Gruel getting a chance to play tonight. Callender along with Simmer and Gruel, and that line is going to be changed here in a moment. The Islanders come up in the play to center. Trottier shoot it off a Penguin. The Karam goes into the near corner. Trottier goes after it. He centers, and Callender able to steal. John Callender right at center ice. He shoots it into the right wing corner. It's going to be handled by Billy Smith. Smith, the Islander goaltender, got it back to center. Greg Gilbert takes the lead pass from Trottier, but he can't step around Dan Quinn, who just came on. Quinn working up the near boards. Quinn, who has had some problems against the Islanders this year in games, and he puts a good check in the Islanders. Greg Gilbert and the Penguins leave it on the near boards for Doug Bodger. Bodger shoot it up past Troy Loney into Islander territory. Both teams have won in the other's building here on the season. Penguins winning here the last time out. Here they get the puck in front of the Islander net. Loney takes a shot off Billy Smith's blocking glove. Still, they haven't registered a shot, so I think it was wide of the net. Neither club with a shot on goal in the first period. Brad Lauer carries the mail. He'll come to center. Bang that puck back into Penguin ice, and Riggin moving it near wing to Troy Loney. Just flip it up into the Islander zone and chase off here. The Islanders will drag it out of their end. Back to center. They lose possession. Paymont takes a whack at Alan Kerr. But Brad Lauer has the puck. Penalty coming up here, and I think it's going to be against the Penguins. Well, Paymont's going to get the call. Paymont, I think, for slashing. Now we have a scoreless game. First period. No score on the Penguins Hockey Network. The jerseys they could have given him, but they lent them to the TV crew yesterday in Washington. They never returned them. And so there were no other jerseys available, and so Jimmy Johnson's name came off, and Charlesworth put his jersey on. You can see Jimmy Johnson down the runway going to the Penguin locker room right now on crutches. He'll come back with the club tonight, and here's Pat Flatley carrying the puck down the left wing, going to Steve Conroy. Conroy steered in behind the Penguin net on the power play of the Islanders. You go to Dale Henry right side, right point to Thomas Janssen. Left side of Conroy. He moves in, a shot. Save made, the first shot of the game on Pat Riggin. The stop is made. Now Janssen right point, going to Conroy left side for the Islanders. To Pat LaFontaine of the Islanders. Near boards, halfway up. Wheel and deal, hold that puck, looking, passes now over to Pat Flatley. Flatley left point to Conroy. Back to Patrick Flatley, left wing circle, dish it off to Conroy. Left point, a shot right through, save made, rebound. Henry thought he had a goal, but he couldn't get it by Hirrigan. And the whistle sounds, play is stopped. Dale Henry thought he had himself a goal. Randy Hillier is hurt on the play. Well, the Penguins are beat up. Hillier is hurt, Bodger is hurt, and the Penguins are really just so shorthanded defensively. And it's going to take a super effort tonight for the Penguins to come away with a couple of points here out of the island, because they are just beat up physically.
I'll tell you one guy who's going to take a super effort from, and that's the goaltender, Pat Riggin. And Riggins going to have to really become a brick wall in there tonight. He made a big save on a deflection there on Dale Henry. Henry got it back, and I think Riggin stopped him there. He certainly did. Somehow got his pad up and stopped the shot by Henry on a rebound. And then the whistle blew because Hillier had been shaken up on the play. I think Riggin lifted his right pad across and made that save with the back of his right leg on Henry on the second try.
Henry thought he had himself a goal here. The shot right from the face-off, and Alan Kerr rings it off the post. It goes to the right wing corner to Trottier. Centers it. And the Islanders can't pull the trigger, and Troy Loney shoots it up ice. Down to 58 seconds to go. The Islanders in the power play against the Penguins this year in the 3 games are 4 for 16, 25%. The average in the National Hockey League this year is 20.6.
I'll tell you, that 25% is an improvement. They're usually at about 50% against the Penguins.
Yep. They were second in the NHL last year in the power play. They are 5th right now at 22.7%. Now Trottier lead the rush back with Potvin with a half a minute to go in the penalty. Shoot it up inside the Penguin line. Whacked out by Dahlquist, but not out. Potvin on the right wing side carries it down the boards. Leave it in the circle. Bodger can't clear, and he was a little slow in getting there, and that's the problem you're going to have with that bad knee. He just doesn't have the hop in it. Left side, Diddick shooting, scoring. Kerr knocked it in. Power play goal. The Islanders lead 1-0. Alan Kerr, I believe, deflected it in. The Islanders have scored, and it will be a power play goal.
Well, Alan Kerr is a guy who really did not score a lot of goals last year. He had a 7 only last year, and this year he was off to a great start. He had 7 goals on November 5th, but he's kind of slowed down lately on that pace. But
I'm not so sure he touched it.
Kerr, at any event, was standing in front of Pat Riggin and screening him if he didn't get a piece of it. And the shot came in on Riggin, and I don't know if Kerr got a piece of it or not.
All right, with 10:16 to go in the period, the Islanders have scored. We'll await the announcement on it, but New York scores on a power play goal. And only 8 times this year have the Penguins been able to score the first goal in the game. This is the 39th game of the year for the Penguins. Or 38th, I beg your pardon. Here's Flatley putting puck back into the Penguins in. Now taking a shot at Deneen. That is blocked on the way in. And the Penguins force it back to Islander territory. The Islanders got that goal with only a few seconds to go, and the penalty to Will Paymont, too. So they made it work for themselves. They've outshot the Penguins 4-0. A steal by Flatley. Here's Riggin coming out. He'll challenge him and knock it away before he can get to the loose puck in the Penguin zone. It actually came off the stick of Pat Flatley. Yeah, it's going to be Diddick who gets the goal. It hit a Penguin stick on the way in. Now Basson controlling. Basson to the near corner. Down to the right point. Here's Deneen shooting. Way up high off a stick and it went up into the seats. The Islanders lead on the goal by Gerald Diddick. 1-0 first period. We'll return in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, Gerald Diddick's going to get the goal from Trottier and Kerr at 9:44 in the power play. And it looked like one of the Penguins came out forechecking Troy Loney and may have gotten a piece of that puck and deflected it past Riggin. Riggin had gone down to cover the near side, and it may have deflected it just enough to get it inside the far post. It rung off the post behind Riggin to make it 1-0.
Right back into the Islanders. And do not be surprised if that goal maybe has changed to Kerr at the end of the period. The only reason I say that is Kerr might go and say that he just got a piece of it. I mean, it's so tough to tell from the replay whether he actually got just a part of the blade on it, but I wouldn't be surprised. People have probably looked at it. We'll just wait and see. Anyway, the Islanders lead 1-0. It really doesn't matter who scored the goal. They get a power play goal. And there with the puck now at center ice. Craig Gilbert leads the rush down the near side of the Penguins in. Drop pass to Trottier, who assisted on the goal. Trottier spinning move. Got it back to Gilbert. Drop pass Conroy. Right side to Janssen. Tee it up. Slap shot. Hit the post to the left of Riggin. Twice the Islanders have had Big Ben strike one. Now in the slot area, Trottier. Going over to Mikko Makela. He sends it in front for Gilbert, and the Penguins take it away. Lemieux fired ahead for Cunnyworth. Randy Cunnyworth 1-on-2 to the Islander line. Comes in. He's bumped on the play in. The Islanders to steer it the length of the ice. It'll come in around the Penguin goal, and Dahlquist will touch it. And we have an icing call against the New York Islanders. 8:16 to go in the first period. 1-0 New York on the Penguins Hockey Network. Well, they set a new team record for the lowest number of shots in one period, one against the New York Rangers. At home that was, too. Callender takes a shot. Blocked. Here come the Islanders. Look out, LaFontaine. The play is whistled down as we have a penalty coming up here against the Islanders. Gerald Diddick, who scored the goal, was credited with it. It's going to get a holding call. All right, hold on. We'll be back in a moment. 1-0 New York on the Penguins Hockey Network.
58. Diddick of the Islanders, 2 for holding at 11:58.
Penguins got to make do on these power play chances today. Yesterday they had how many in the first period against Washington? 3 at least. Stroh's power play.
Power play coming up for the Penguins. Gerald Diddick in for holding at 11:58. And Lemieux on with Jock Callender and Randy Cunnyworth. And Lemieux carries it down the far boards and the Islanders in. Todd McClellan and Richard Crum, the penalty killers for New York. Lemieux in the left wing circle. They let him go. Look out. He's wristing one. Stopped by Deneen. Gets it back and goes to the left point to Bork. Back to Lemieux. They give Lemieux a lot of room to work with. Bork center point fires one. Blocked by Potvin. Cleared by the Islanders. And up ice it goes.
Nicholas Relich is going to get another chance on our Stroh's power play contest out of Houston, PA, going for a $100 bill if the Penguins can score here.
Bork comes up, turn it over to Lemieux with a good sharp pass into the Islanders in. Penguins on a power play with the extra man. 5 against 4. It'll be Bodger right point. Going to Lemieux. Still, again, they give him room. Lemieux goes to Bodger center point. Back to Mario. He's open, doesn't take the shot. Bodger will. His shot right on Smith in the first shot for the Penguins. Comes almost 13 minutes into the first period. Now Smith on the defensive for the Islanders. Here, a penalty coming up against the Islanders as the Pens carried it in. Bodger was pulled down, a tripping call, and the Islanders are going to be shorthanded by 2 men. Bodger, who has just been rattled up in the last month of play, takes another check, and down he goes, and those knees are going to be tender for a long time, Dougie. I'll tell you one thing, you do not want to be a defenseman right now with the Penguins. You just do not want to be. The way things are going.
Well, Potvin has been known to put that knee out on guys in the past. He does that. He's very strong, and he got the knee out, I believe. He certainly did. I mean, that was a blatant trip, and that's a very dangerous play to do in the National Hockey League. You just do that, and you really get guys hurt. Jimmy Johnson had that happen to him yesterday. Kelly Miller did the exact same thing. Johnson came, in fact, waited after the game to talk to Noeth because he said not only you were calling penalties all day and you could have called one there on Kelly Miller for tripping me and injuring my knee. I'm out 3 weeks. And Bodger could have been out a long time too, but he got up after that, and the Penguins will have the 2-man advantage. That may be just a reaction.
Well, the Penguins go 12 minutes and 45 seconds before they get their first shot on goal. Now they've got a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 2 seconds. And they trail 1-0 in this hockey game. Dan Quinn on with Randy Cunnyworth and Jock Callender. Lemieux's going to take the left point. Bodger on the right side. Bodger has it come outside the line. He'll have to chase after it. Gilbert's after him. Bodger will go to the Penguins end and leave it for Dan Quinn, but Gilbert got a piece of that. Finally, Quinn does take command of it. Lead pass to Cunnyworth. 2-man advantage for the Penguins. Cunnyworth down to the Islander zone. Feed it over to Lemieux. The Penguins can be patient right now, and why not give it to the big guy and let him toy with it? He's got the puck. Feed it over now to Callender. Wheel and deal. Shoots one. Blocked in front nicely by Gilbert, and he'll clear. Big play there.
Well, that was a case of Mario Lemieux faking out his own teammate, Jock Callender. He cranked that big stick up and made it look like he was going to shoot it from the center point, pass it to Callender, and Callender just didn't handle it right to get the shot away.
Lemieux again cruising back to the Islanders end. 20 seconds to go. Lost the puck to LaFontaine. LaFontaine in the right wing going to the Penguins end. Shorthanded by 2 men of the Islanders. LaFontaine finally has it taken away, but the Islanders doing a magnificent job here of stopping the Penguins, who have had only 1 shot on goal. Quinn drills it back behind the Islander net. Billy Smith can't stop it. LaFontaine plays it off the body of Lemieux. First penalty is over. 58 to go in the second. Diddy comes on. Lemieux dancing away. LaFontaine's after him. Really working hard. Islanders get it, and they drive it up ice.
Well, a great penalty killing by Pat LaFontaine. That's a classic case of a guy getting right on you and taking the body to kill the penalty. That's the way you do it.
Cunnyworth with 40 seconds to go on the penalty to Potvin. Cunnyworth down the right wing, going to the Islanders in. The Penguins trail 1-0. Come in deep, center it for Ganchar. He tried to shoot it. Smith knocked it away. Ganchar behind the net. Gets it again to Cunnyworth. Center point to Bork. Wristing one. Blocked. The Islanders do it again. Crom comes up and he's hammered on a check by Bork, but he dishes the puck deep into the Penguins end. And the Penguins are really now looking at a situation where they were only going to get 1 shot on goal here in this entire power play effort unless they hurry. 12 seconds to go. McElwain to the Islanders end. He cuts across. Left wing pass to Hunter. Dave Hunter moves in. Goes behind the net. Man open is Hilliard. Trying to pass to him. A big play again by Janssen. Hunter gets it back in the slot. He shoots it right on. The save made Smith. The rebound. Penguins can't get it in. And the Islanders have it. They throw it up the boards to Todd McClellan. Here's Potvin trying to take a lead pass. Penalty has expired as Potvin comes on. Now the Penguins finally had 2 cracks at it, but a big effort by the Islanders penalty killing unit. As the Penguins had a 2-man advantage and they really couldn't do too much. Dave Hunter back into Penguin ice. Ray Gilbert going for the puck. He rattles Hilliard with a solid check, and Hilliard knocks him down. He'll get a penalty for it. Randy just reacted that time to Greg Gilbert, and Gilbert's playing it cool because he knows Hilliard's going to get the penalty. Pretty wise move by Greg Gilbert there. 4:38 to go, and just like that, the momentum has turned the other way. 1-0 New York on the Penguins Hockey Network. You got to say that Gilbert really used some good judgment there. Not coming back at Hilliard and whacking him, or he'd have gone off too. So the Islanders, after killing the 2-man disadvantage, have a power play now. And how many times have you seen teams score on this? Right side, Janssen. Janssen going to Conroy. Conroy near boards to Pat Flatley. Back to Conroy. Conroy right side of Janssen. Shoots one, block, loose in front. And Loney's going to get the puck, and he'll rip it back to center ice on the backhand. Going to the Islander line. 1:43 to go on the Hilliard penalty. 4:19 to go in the first period. New York leading on a power play goal, 1-0. LaFontaine, and he's in high gear tonight. LaFontaine into the Penguins end, left side, going to Flatley. Flatley pull up in the near corner, Penguin zone. Left point to Conroy. Over to Janssen. Back to Conroy. Kind of interesting here. They don't have Trottier or Potvin on the power play. Conroy center point. Fires it on. Regan the save down low, and he holds it right to the right of his right pad and keeps the puck for a face-off. Now, how many times would you see the Islanders start a power play without Brian Trottier and Dennis Potvin on it? Of course, for years we've seen Mike Bossy there, but he's out with a back injury for the entire season.
Speaking of back injuries, Dennis Potvin has been bothered by a bad back. He had to have some x-rays to see if there was anything wrong in there. They found nothing particularly wrong, so he's able to play. But, you know, he's been questionable on a day-to-day basis because of his back problems. The Islanders go with a unique kind of power play up front. They go with some bashers and crashers up front, and they've got right now, they got Makela up there with Alan Kerr and Brian Trottier.
The punt man at the left point, Diddick at the right, and they pull it back into the Islanders zone. So the Penguins now a minute and 10 seconds away from killing the penalty to Randy Hillier. Penguins had a shorthanded goal yesterday against the Capitals. And the Penguins have 6 shorthanded goals. The Islanders have allowed 5. Makela into the Penguins end. And the Islanders can't hold it into the right point. Gerald Diddick with possession. Dale Henry was on the power play before. He just brought him up from Springfield. One of the reasons they felt that he handled the puck very well. But he's not out here at the moment, and Potvin has to retreat to the Islanders' end to take control of it. And Potvin moves up in his 15th year in the National Hockey League and his last. Makela to the right wing. Penguins in. Look out. Trottier's in front. He's trying to center it for him. And it's blocked by Riggin off his goaltender stick. Lemieux trying to dig the puck out. He does. Lemieux with 30 seconds to go. Goes to Hunter. Back to Lemieux. Standing tall. Left side pass. In his Bourque. He'll go in behind the net. And Billy Smith reached in to take it away from him with that big goaltender stick. Trottier rambling back to his own line for the Islanders. 1-0 New York. First period. Trottier in the right wing side of the Penguins in. Dump it up to the right point to Thomas Johnson. Back to Potvin, left side. A wrist shot and a stop by Riggin. Bounces into the near corner. Lemieux is in digging for the puck. Trying to work it free. Trottier comes up with it. Trottier to the right wing corner for Mikko Makela. Right point Johnson. Penalty is over. Hillier's on. It goes to Makela. Makela now. To Trottier, center point. Johnson blistering one, and it was deflected and it went wide. Came off the boards on the back of the net. And we'll get a face-off outside of the Pittsburgh line. It was last touched by an Islander. 2:27 to go in the first period. 1-0 Islanders and the Penguins. We're in the first period here at the Nassau County Coliseum, along with Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang, and the Penguins trailing 1-0. And Rod Buskus, the Penguin defenseman, comes up to center. Lost the puck to Randy Wood. Left wing to Crom behind Buskus. Cutting for the net. Crom's in on goal. His shot is stopped by Riggin as he broke in home free. Riggin with a big save on Richard Crom. Now a collision near boards. Penguins in. And work back to center, and Scott Grew of Pittsburgh one-on-one against Gordon Dineen. His slap shot on penalty coming up against the Islanders, however. The Islanders will be shorthanded again. A hooking call against New York. Brian Curran will sit down. The Penguins will get their 4th power play chance here in the first period. And boy, when you're on the road, you just have got to start cashing in on these power play chances. The Penguins have had 3 shots, make it 4 now. They got one just a second ago, but 3 of those came on the power play.
Boy, I'll tell you, Crom made a nice little move. He kind of moved the stick as if he was going to bring it across on the backhand. Never did, and then decided to just kind of push that puck, try to get it between the legs of Riggin, but Riggin would have none of that. He got a stick on it to stop Crom. And Brian Curran was hooking one of the Penguins up ice, and the Pens with another power play chance. Big save by Pat Riggin on Richard Crom, who can't buy a goal. He's had a problem scoring goals.
Phil Bourque to the right point now, and the Islanders in to Bodger after the faceoff. Back to Bourque. Left wing circle to Mario Lemieux. Minute 55 to go in the first period. 1-0 the Islanders lead. Lemieux holds center point to Bourque. A shot deflected. And did it go off Calendar's stick? Apparently it did, and up into the seats.
Mike, Richard Crom has no goals in his last 18 games, so even though you're coming in there on a breakaway chance, if you haven't had the goals lately, they don't come that easily, and he almost beat Riggin, but just didn't quite, and that was a big save because the Penguins end up with a power play chance right after that. Pat Riggin's made some big saves here in the first period. Ken Goss of Pittsburgh is our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest.
Lemieux, Cunnyworth, and Callender, and the Penguins flip it into the Islanders' left wing corner. Potvin wristing around the boards for Craig Gilbert, who hustles over, and he clears the puck. Well, the Islanders have a pretty good penalty killing unit here, especially with Potvin back there. They have a pretty good idea what he's going to do with it, and they go to a certain area and spot way ahead of the play. Callender now lifted back to the center ice to Mario Lemieux. He's into the Islanders' end down the left wing boards for the Penguins. Trottier comes after him. Lemieux stops, turn it over to Callender, left point to Bodger. Now back in the far boards, Callender to Bodger, near side to Phil Bourque. Skates to the right wing circle, shoots one on the short side, stopped by Billy Smith. High in the air, the rebound goes. And it goes to the left wing corner where Lemieux comes over to gather it in. 1:05 to go in the penalty to Bodger center point. Gilbert gives his body up on the slap shot by Bodger. And blocks it, and it caroms back to center. Bourque will rifle it into the Islanders in with a minute to go in the period. Penalty will carry almost through to the end of the period. And Dineen steers it up ice, and the Penguins again have to retreat. Bourque moving to center circle. Coming to the Islander line. Can't get in. Crom stopped it. Here's Kerr on the right wing. Going to the Penguins in against Hillier. A slap shot. Hillier blocked it and up into the crowd at the Nassau County Coliseum it goes. Well, the Islanders have just been tremendous on the penalty killing. The Penguins have really been terrible on the power play. I don't know how else you can describe it. I mean, that's the way it's gone.
Well, looking at what they're doing, their game plan obviously here tonight against the Penguins power play is to get right on Mario Lemieux. Don't give him any time. Some teams will back off and take Mario's options away from him. Other teams will go right after him. LaFontaine was very successful in that last chance of going after Lemieux and making him cough up the puck. And they did the same thing to him this time with Brian Trottier, and I think that's the real problem. The Penguins are going to have somebody open in that situation. It's just a matter of getting it to him.
Rolled again behind the Penguin net, and Randy Hillier out on the power play to Dahlquist, who comes to center to Charlie Zimmer. Zimmer send it softly into the right wing corner of the Islanders zone. Now Loney goes in for the Penguins, trying to make a play away from Richard Crom. Does dish it behind the net. Zimmer back to Quinn. 11 seconds to the penalty. The Penguins put it in front. They've scored to tie the game at 1. Well, they've made the power play work as they got it from behind the net right out in front, and the Penguins tie the game.
Troy Loney will get the goal, and I believe Dan Quinn will get the assist. I think Quinter's the guy that passed it out from the backhand behind the net. They were working that puck in behind the goal. It was Quinn and Zimmer, I believe, who were just playing catch with that puck behind the cage. Zimmer was able to shovel that puck over to Danny Quinn. Troy Loney went right for the front of the net. Quinn backhanded it out to him. Loney backhanded it right underneath the right pad of Billy Smith from right on the doorstep, and a big goal by Troy Loney to tie it at 1 with only 14 seconds remaining in the first period.
And it is, and it's a power play goal for the Penguins, so they finally make the power play work as they come out with Quinn, Loney, and Zimmer and connect. Zimmer should get an assist on it also. Back into the Islanders in with 5 seconds to go in the period. Conroy going to Gordon Dineen. Dineen lifted back to center, and Dale Henry will touch it, so the Penguins do, excuse me, finally cash in on the power play as Loney scores, and at the end of 1 period, the scoreboard reads the Penguins won, the Islanders won on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Big, strong wingers like that, particularly in the Patriot division, and it took Loney a while to get going after coming back off the injury, and he has been really getting on a roll here lately.
Second period underway. The Penguins went 1 for 4 on the power play in the opening period. Diddick now cruising into the Penguins' end. Shooter towards the net. Riggin deflects that into the near corner. Both Billy Smith and Pat Riggin are 1-1 against respective clubs this year. Riggin 1-1 against the Islanders, and ditto that for Billy Smith against the Pens. Pat Flatley in the left wing boards. Penguin zone. Being pressured by McElwain. McElwain on with Dave Hunter and Perry Ganchar. Ganchar, the Penguin right winger, flipping up in the air and right back down to the Islanders zone. And corralled now by Gerald Diddick. Diddick swinging over to Dennis Potvin. Potvin a giveaway. Bork at center. Shooter towards the net. Billy Smith will stop that. Kelly Rudy is the backup goaltender tonight for the Islanders. Flatley zigzag out of his own end, going to Potvin. Potvin carries the puck to the Penguin lineup. Bodger cut across and stopped him from penetrating the zone. But the Islanders do take command of it, dropping it behind the Penguin net. Dahlquist shooted up left wing to Randy Cunnyworth. Then the Penguin left winger bounce it towards Billy Smith. He cut it down low by the skates, flip it to the near corner. Lemieux went in. The Islanders double team and take the puck away. They will get it back to center ice. Cunnyworth drops it right back in. Smith stops it for Thomas Janssen, and Janssen, nobody around him at all, skates to center. Now to the Penguin blue line, and Bodger stands him up. The Penguins are doing a little different attack right now in the second period. They're standing the Islanders up at the blue line. Well, we've got to stop in the action here, and we'll give our goal-getter contestant right now.
Dave Bayshore of Pittsburgh is our Giant Eagle goal-getter contestant in the second period, and Dave has chosen Dave McElwain as his goal-getter here in the period. $700 worth of groceries on the line.
And let's pause quickly for station identification here on the Penguins Hockey Network. Now the Islanders, a team that is the least penalized team in the National Hockey League. There was a time when the Patrick division was one of the most penalized divisions, but that's not really true anymore. It's not quite as physical as it had been before. Play a little different brand of hockey, and here's an offside play as Pat LaFontaine is knocked down by Wayne Van Dorp. And now tempers heat up as Curran comes over, and he is involved with Loney and Quinn. Brian Curran has his arms wrapped around Brian Curran. LaFontaine comes over. Wayne Van Dorp just decked LaFontaine, sent him on his wallet. And they'll cool down. Fontaine with a glare at Wayne Van Dorp. 1-1 the score, second period on the Penguins Hockey Network. Van Dorp like a bulldozer in a construction yard. That's exactly what he was like. He just bowled over Pat LaFontaine. LaFontaine about 175 to 180 pounds. He's pretty well put together really for his short size, but Van Dorp, the big moose, just ran him over.
King Kong, that's what I call him.
Here will be Buskus now blasting the puck in around to the Islanders end. And Van Dorp after it can't come up with it, goes around to the far side now. Loney of Pittsburgh centers it. Dineen blocked that. And Gord Dineen in a 1-1 tie, sneak it ahead to center. Brad Lauer of the Islanders brings it in, trying to get a step on Buskus, goes into the far corner. Lauer got behind Buskus, centers it in front. LaFontaine pulled down. Play will continue along the near boards. Todd Charlesworth tried to move it out and does. Off the wood and back down to the Islanders end, and Brian Curran trying to get the legs going to get to that puck. Skating, Gord Dineen coming up the left wing side. Curran takes over on one leg, drives it back into the Penguin right wing corner. It sails around behind the Pittsburgh net, around to the far side. Bork comes up with the puck. Bork could not clear. He'll get it again, and he does shoot it off the sideboards and back to center. Diddick rifles it right back to the Penguin net. There it is, stopped by Pat Riggin. Hillier swinging around the boards. The Islanders keep it in. Left point to Potvin. Look out! His shot went wide of the net on a heavy slap shot. Charlie Simmer picks it up. We've got an interference call coming up though against the Penguins. And the Penguins will be shorthanded. The Islanders go to the power play. We are tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
And the Islanders with another chance on the power play. They scored one power play goal in that first period. Penguins were getting the puck out of their own end. Pat Riggin had caught a long shot, left it behind the net. Penguins tried to get it out. Bork cleared it, and then this was Loney who sent it out of there, and then Bork interfered with one of the Islanders right after that, and he sits down.
I wonder how many games this year, as compared to years past, how many games have been decided by power play goals? The number of penalties called this year is up significantly. It has to be from the prior years. And I just wonder how many games have been decided by power play goals. Here's Dave Hunter now going back into the Islanders end. Drop pass over to Hillier, going to Dave Hunter. Hunter now to Lemieux, shoots and scores. The Penguins take the lead in a shorthanded goal by Mario Lemieux. Oh, Michael motorcycle. It was Lemieux in the slot. Set up nicely, and he just blistered it. The NHL's leading goal scorer gives the Penguins a 2-1 lead.
His 32nd of the year, and Dave Hunter made a pretty play to handle that puck after giving it back to Randy Hillier. Hillier gave it right back to Hunter, and Hunter was able to take the pass off the skate. He ragged the puck for a moment in the corner, and just as Potvin came towards him, he just chipped that puck to Lemieux, and the puck was on edge, and Mario one-timed it past Billy Smith into the net to give the Penguins a 2-1 lead.
Second day in a row, the Penguins have picked up a shorthanded goal.
Lemieux just whacking that puck in on the short side.
Off the post it appeared.
Yep.
Well, the great goal scorers can put it there, and Lemieux did just that. So the Penguins score a shorthanded goal. And the puck is lifted back into the Penguins' end. Right around behind the net. Lemieux comes up with it. Mario's been kind of quiet tonight, but does get the go-ahead goal. Here he comes again. He's got some fire in his eye. He goes to the Islanders' end, cuts across, drop pass to Hunter. Hunter shoots it wide. Comes off the right wing side. Lemieux keeps it in. Hopping in between the circles, but Thomas Janssen, Lemieux wants off now. Janssen a four-man rush to the Penguins' end. Drop pass to LaFontaine. Here's a man in front. Henry, and he can't take the pass. Played around to the left point. Janssen going to Conroy. Conroy flipping on the backhand of the near corner of the Islanders in. Remember, the Penguins didn't have a shot on goal in this game until about the 13-minute mark of the first period. They now lead 2-1. This has got shades of the game we played in here earlier when the Penguins won 4-2. They trailed 2-0 at the end of 2 and had a big third period and took the game away from the Islanders. Conroy to Flatley with 35 to go on the Pittsburgh penalty. Quinn is over. Can't clear. But it'll come to the Penguins defenseman Doug Bodger, and he will skate to center, drop it out to Loney. He's got some room down the right wing. Islanders in, comes in with a backhand shot, and Billy Smith will make that save on Troy Loney. Loney is not the shooter, however, that Lemieux is. Lemieux, in a situation like that, really can pick some spots. Here's LaFontaine going down. Into Pittsburgh ice. Swing it to the left point with a great pass to Potvin. Right side to Diddick, who was the only Islander goal. Cross rink to LaFontaine. Read nicely by Randy Hillier. And the Penguin defenseman bangs it back into the Islander zone to kill the penalty. 1 second to go. Here comes Bourque ready to come on. He is on.
Well, what a big lift for the Penguins that was.
At the Islander line, Ganchar takes it away. He has 4 Islanders to beat, so he just swings the puck off the boards in behind the Islander net. Stopped by Billy Smith for Brian Trottier, the Islander captain. Now on the right wing for Mikko Makala. Makala, 19 goals on the years, carries it into the Penguins end. He is up in it off his skates. Dave Hunter, who played extremely well for the Penguins. In fact, since he has arrived from Edmonton, he has just been playing some great hockey for the Pens. The Penguins are offside of the play, coming to the Islander line. Again, recapping, Lemieux is 32nd at .311, a shorthanded goal from Dave Hunter and Randy Hillier. How about the Hunter brothers yesterday putting on a show? Dale for the Capitals and Dave Hunter for the Penguins.
Dave Hunter has scored a goal in every game that he's played against his brother this year, including when he was with the Edmonton Oilers, and he really is just enjoying his new role, really. I mean, with Edmonton, he never got a chance to play until playoff time rolled around. Now he's getting a chance to play every night and getting a lot of ice time, killing penalties, and taking a regular shift. Seems to be really enjoying it, and he has made a big difference in the Penguin locker rooms as well. And now, of course, he's an assistant captain.
Well, 2-1, the Penguins lead. And Todd McClellan cruising back in behind the Islander goal to take command of the puck. Gord Dineen, Islander defenseman, back to McClellan. Right wing pass to Randy Wood. Wood has tailed off considerably here after a great start in the early going. The youngster out of Yale University. Callender gets the puck for the Penguins at his own line. Skates up with Simmer and Scott Gruel. So Callender goes to center ice now. And the Islanders take it away. McClellan, right wing pass for Randy Wood. Push it up in behind the Penguin goal. Pat Riggin steer it around. Callender takes command of it. Can he get it out? Does, to the blue line, and out it comes to center ice. Crom hit by Charlie Simmer on a shoulder check. The Islanders drive it back to the Penguin net. Riggin handles it easily. Gruel was turned around, knocked off his skates. Callender's just going to flip it up in the air to Charlie Simmer. Simmer moving down the right side. Lost control of the puck, and Pat Flatley giving the puck to Bob Basson. Basson with Bourque to beat. Bourque swings him wide with that big frame of his and just rides him off the puck. Henry, though, picks it up. Shooter towards the net, back in front. Basson with a shot. Riggin makes that save. And another penalty coming up here. Doug Bodger will get a cross-checking call. Well, Bob Basson with some great forechecking and working that puck in the Penguins' end. Got loose around the net. Got a good shot off Riggin, a big save, but the Penguins guilty of a penalty. And the Islanders get their 4th power play chance. 2-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
A good scoring chance when Bob Basson walked out from behind the net, took the shot, and once again, Doug Bodger taking the penalty after the play had already really been decided. Basson was stopped by Riggin, and yet Bodger still came in and cross-checked him after the play, really, and a penalty to Bodger, cross-checking at 6:35.
Penguins have the lead, 2-1. They took the lead on a shorthanded goal by Mario Lemieux on an earlier penalty call to Phil Bourque in this period. Dale Henry of New York losing the puck to Lemieux, and the big center iceman coming up with Dave Hunter. Shoots it towards the net. Billy Smith will stop it and sweep it around to the near boards. Nice pass by Smith. Flatley quickly up to LaFontaine at center circle. Deal it to the Penguins in. Henry up the board. Shoots it. And it went wide on the stick-hand side of Pat Riggin to the right point. Held in by the Islanders. Janssen going to Pat Flatley of New York. Near corner to Dale Henry. Back to Thomas Janssen. Janssen cranks one up. A shot blocked in front by Dahlquist, the Penguin defenseman, and cleared now by Chris. All the way back into Islander territory. And in his own real estate, Thomas Janssen. Comes up with 1:15 to go. Outlet pass left side to Pat Flatley, and he's hip checked by Hillier on a nice play. Goes into the left wing corner. The puck hops in behind the Penguin net. LaFontaine of New York. Flatley left point to Conroy. Back to Flatley, left wing boards. Loney putting pressure on. Quinn and Loney, the penalty killers. Left point to Conroy. Near side to Janssen. Fakes his shot. Conroy's open. He's got it. His shot blocked. LaFontaine handles the biscuit. And Loney knocks down Dale Henry in front of the net. Conroy left point. Going over to LaFontaine. Left wing boards. Crafty little center iceman, rink wide pass, trying to get it to Janssen, cutting for the net. That hit up a leg. Janssen goes center point to Conroy to shot. Block, penalty coming up here. And it's going to be against the Penguins again. A cross-checking call. Randy Hillier is going to get the gate, and the Penguins will be shorthanded by 2 men for 35 seconds.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Hillier just broke his stick in half as he cross-checked one of the Islanders. This is kind of a funny situation. You don't like to see penalties and 2 men being short, but in the other end of it, boy, the Penguins really are hitting the Islanders in front of that net. They're making them pay the price every time they get around that goal. And that aggressiveness and that physical ability, you think, would wear the Islanders down eventually, but they've got to fight off a big 2-man advantage now.
Time of the penalty is 8 minutes. Hillier of the Penguins, 2 for cross-checking.
8 minutes of time of the penalty, a 35-second 2-man advantage now for the Islanders. Unless they score before that. Thomas Janssen and Doug Bodger in the box, and also Randy Hillier.
What did we have yesterday? 3 2-man advantages for the Washington Capitals.
In one place where it was 6 minutes consecutively of power play time for the Washington Capitals. LaFontaine was whacked at by Hillier to start. Still moved the puck up the boards, and then I believe Hillier cross-checked him after that.
Well, he did a good enough job, as I said, to break the stick. Lemieux, the lone forward. This is where faceoffs become so important, and Trottier, one of the masters at it. Lemieux talking to Dahlquist and Busquets. Busquets playing with a broken nose. Yeah, you want to be a defenseman? Ask any of the Penguin defensemen what's happening. Here is Kerr now in the left wing corner behind the Penguin net to Trottier. 2-man advantage to Potvin, right side. Potvin shoots, stop by Riggin. The rebound, can the Penguins get to it? They can now. Busquets will. Can he clear? And he does. And he gets it up ice. That should almost kill the first penalty to Bodger.
Well, the Caps had 13 power play chances yesterday, and the Penguins certainly got a lot of practice killing penalties and might pay off here tonight.
Busquets now back in his own end, has it again, and shoots it off the sideboards up into the Islander bench. And we're down to 5 seconds to go, and the Pittsburgh penalty to Doug Bodger, and 1:30 in Randy Hillier's minor. With a face-off coming up in the Penguins' end, where Busquets tried to clear the puck. He's arguing, I think, that one of the Islanders touched the puck as he tried to clear it. It hit the linesman's arm. That's what they're saying, apparently. Wayne Bonney. As Busquets trying to clear it out. There you see the Penguins, Doug Bodger and Randy Hillier.
2 defensemen in the box.
Oh, it's not the time. It's just not the time of year to be a defenseman. It isn't on the Penguin squad. Left wing boards. Penguin ice after the faceoff. Trottier, first penalty. Bodger is on. He's got a long way to go to get back in the play. Islanders steered in behind the Penguin net. Bodger is back behind the goal. Makela centers. It comes out in front. Swept away by Lemieux. And it goes back to the Islanders line. Bodger and Dahlquist race off the ice. And on the ice come Dave Hunter and Phil Bourque. Busquets will stay on. Lead pass to center ice. Intercepted by Bourque. And he wraps it right back into the Islanders' end. Their 5th power play chance with a minute to go in Hillier's minor. Penguins lead 2-1 second period on a shorthanded goal. The go-ahead goal by Mario Lemieux. Now Trottier scrambles back into the Penguin zone for the Islanders. Going to the left wing boards. Decked by Bodger. To Potvin. Potvin's shot block. Bodger, who's become very aggressive since returning after that knee injury. Boy, he is hitting everything and moved. Shot back into the Islanders' end of the rink, and Potvin retreats again. Giving the puck to Trottier. Now to Makela. Good lead pass behind the defense. LaFontaine breaks it alone. He makes his move, and he hit the post. He had Riggin out, and he hit the post. 3 times the Islanders have cut the pipe. As LaFontaine, you'll never see him hardly miss with that angle in the open net. Potvin left point shooting, and the stop is made by Riggin. Now in the left wing side. Trottier to Diddick. His shot blocked. Loose behind the net. Trottier stumbles. He gets back to the near corner to get it. Right point, Diddick. Left side, Potvin. His drive went wide. Trottier shoots it back in front. Blocked by Loney. And Loney bangs it off the boards and up ice.
Loney's the man who blocked that shot by Potvin. He actually got his leg on that somehow. Just came out and challenged, and fortunately got a piece of that shot from the point.
Well, Hillier back on the ice. The Penguins have killed it. This is going to be an icing call against the Islanders. Oh, my. The Penguins doing a great job, and also got a little help from their friends. And the pipe as Big Ben struck one as LaFontaine failed to connect. 2-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
LaFontaine has been red hot lately with 5 goals, 6 points in his last 3 games. He got in behind Doug Bodger and walked right in on Riggin, made his moved to the forehand, had a wide open net, and he shot the puck as he was going by and hit the post. He just missed it. There's momentum carrying him to the right, and when he shot it, he just didn't get over to the left enough, and it kind of carried and kind of curved into that post on the right-hand side.
Here's Dahlquist from the face-off, and the Islanders in with a slap shot that Smith denied. And the Islanders return to center. Bob Basson with Pat Flatley. And Dale Henry Out for Terry Simpson, the coach of the Islanders. Basson is upended by Dahlquist on the hip check, and he is playing hurt also with a bad thigh muscle, I believe. Basson going behind the Pittsburgh goal. Losing the puck to Dave Hunter, up to Perry Ganchar. And whip a good pass to Dahlquist, who has room, trying to back in Janssen. He'll come down the near wing, rolling in behind the net, and McElwain of Pittsburgh going for the puck. He centers, came off a skate, but right in front, nobody there for the Penguins, and Thomas Janssen again with 9:15 to go in the second period. The Penguins lead 2-1. Janssen going to Penguin ice, to Flatley left wing corner. He centers it back, comes all the way to the right point. Janssen tried to come over and cut the angle and make the stop to keep it in, but he couldn't. Chasing to center, Henry. Takes the pass from Janssen out of Conroy, and he'll blast it up for the Islanders into the Penguin zone. Around the boards it comes to Dave Hunter. Islanders trying to make a line change. Hunter shoots it into Islander territory into the right wing corner, and the Penguins also will try and make a change. Wolf Paymont coming on for the Pens. Can't get to the puck, and the Islanders in. Deneen with a burst of speed to center, losing the puck to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux holds it up now, passing off a stick. It goes to Paymont. Into the Islanders in, trying to be courage. Got a step on him. Backhand shot on the save is made by Smith. Boy, Billy Smith made a big save right there on Wolf Paymont. He really did. Back come the Islanders. Tom McClellan. McClellan moving down left wing side. He lost his stick, and he almost lost his head as Hillier banged him. But the Islanders have it out in front. Randy Wood shooting. Riggin went down on the ice. And Wood trying to go upstairs, and Riggin somehow made that save on Randy Wood.
Well, he went down because Mario Lemieux crashed into him. Mario Lemieux fell down right in the goal crease. And I think he might have upended Pat Riggin. Riggin was down, but he could see the play, and I think he got his left pad up and made the save. Lemieux thanking Pat Riggin for stopping the puck. Boy, Hillier and McClellan really collided against the backboards in behind the net. Mario fell down. That's exactly what happened. He knocked Riggin down, and Riggin was still able to somehow get his pad up and make the save.
On a break there, because I think Randy Wood was trying to go upstairs. He just didn't get it high enough. He had the right idea. He goes up another half a foot, and he's got himself a goal. But I'll tell you, moments earlier, Will Paymont coming down using Curran as a partial screen, and Billy Smith had to be very sharp. I think that puck hit his skate, and he just made the save on Paymont, who almost got it by him. LaFontaine against Dan Quinn now. Penguin territory, 8:19 to go, second period. 2-1 the Penguins lead. And the face-off controlled by the Penguins. Quinn giving the puck to Randy Hillier, a little hesitant to move it over. Got it to Quinn finally. Now shoots it up out of the zone and back to center. Brian Curran tried to make a play. Gave it away momentarily, but Deneen helps the cause. And Gord Deneen, the Islander defenseman, up on the left side, back to Curran. LaFontaine tried to take his lead pass, couldn't. Knocked the puck down with a glove at center. Battle for it. LaFontaine swings it to open space near side, and Brad Lauer now will just dump the puck in. Penguins lead 2-1, second period. Goal scoring for the Penguins, Troy Loney and Mario Lemieux after the Islanders have taken a 1-0 lead. Paymont back into the Islanders in. Playing right wing now on Lemieux's line. Give it to Lemieux, right wing corner. Fan on an attempted pass. Potvin blocked it. Lemieux gets it back to Cunneyworth. Now to Lemieux in the slot, and he fanned on it. Center point. Hillier, good play to keep it in. Near corner to Paymont. Tried to throw it to Lemieux between the circles, and Potvin read it well. Good lead pass by Potvin. Poke check nicely by Randy Hillier. He's had a strong game for the Penguins here. Randy Hillier now back into the Islanders zone. Cunneyworth overskated the play. LaFontaine goes after it. He'll roll it back to center ice. Dahlquist deals the puck. Here are the Penguins again back. Islander territory, and they're offside. 7:08 to go, second period. We'll be back with you in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network. Two to 1, the Penguins lead. I'm going to give you a question. I don't know if you saw it on the board or not. Let's see if how your memory goes here and give you some time to think about it. Can you name me 4 former Penguins that played with the New York Islanders? Left wing, here come the Islanders. Penguins in. Trontier trying to beat Bodger. Cuts for the net. He's got an open net. He scores. Riggin came out of gamble, and he couldn't get it from Trontier. And Brian Trontier ties the game at 2. Yeah, when you go out like that and you don't make the play, it's all over because you've got an open net. Riggin gave it his best shot to try and poke it on Frontier's stick, but Frontier, very wisely and knowing Riggin for quite some time, maybe expecting that, got around him.
He did what Pat LaFontaine could not do. And maybe the reason was that he was on the backhand. It's a little easier to backhand the puck back against the grain when you're traveling left to right like that to be able to get it backwards. It's just a natural motion. He was able to put it into the net. And you could see why on the forehand that would be a tougher play to make, and why Pat LaFontaine hit the post in that situation, and why Brian Trottier found the net.
Brian Trottier has just tied Alex Delvecchio, the former Red Wing, on the all-time goal list with 456 goals. And he gets a big hand here from the crowd here, his 16th of the year. And boy, that was just looked too easy. He just froze Pat Riggin, who had nowhere to go at all. When he made his move to the right, I thought he tried to stick the stick out, but when he made him move, thought he was going to go the other way. He was just left helpless, and then Trottier came from behind and put it into an open net. Janssen with a pretty lead pass to set in Trottier in the left wing, so we're tied at 2. Gord Dineen at center. Blast the puck into the Penguins' end. Pat Flatley on the left wing board. Flatley throw it in behind the net. The Islanders now with Basson taking over. Charlesworth pins him against the glass, and the Penguins come up ice. A tying goal by Trottier at 13-12 from Thomas Janssen. Penguins steer it up into Islanders territory along the right wing boards. Scott Brule giving the puck to Busquets. He'll whack it towards the goal. Here's Curran losing it. Comes in front. Dan Quinn couldn't quite get there. Dineen spinning around the near side. Brule trying to tie up Bob Basson, but the Islanders do cruise back, and here they come to center. Curran to the Penguin zone, wristing one, a pretty good shot, and the stop is made by Riggin. Dale Henry with the puck. Now off to Basson. He fanned on that attempted play to get it out. Charlesworth has to go back to the left of his own net. Feeds it up across the blue line to center. Brule, bumpy Gerald Diddy as they fight for possession. LaFontaine comes over. He'll work the puck free, and the Islanders are offside at the Penguin line. 5:35 to go in period number 2. Pittsburgh 2, the Islanders 2 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Oh, yeah? Well, Brian Trottier in his 13th year, 31 years old. One of the last guys to win the Art Ross and Hart trophies in the NHL before Wayne Gretzky started reeling them off.
And the president of the NHL Players Association, too. Pretty well-respected guy throughout the league, and he has had a tremendous career here. He really has.
Remember last year when he made the remarks about the officiating, Mike, with an icing call against the Islanders? You remember last year he made all the remarks about officiating. He said, why don't you call it as you see it? Call everything. I think was the headline was call everything. And everybody made a big stink about it, and what a terrible thing. And then they come out in training camp and say they're going to start calling everything. So somebody heard what he had to say, even though they pretended like it was not the, I guess they just thought it wasn't the proper forum for him to voice his opinion. It was in the Hockey News in an article.
Isn't it interesting, too, with Trottier, of course, the Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups in a row, considered by many to be the best two-way player in the league at that time, the best player. And Gretzky came on the scene, and there was a big discussion about who was the best, Gretzky or Trottier. And now you don't hear too much about Trottier. You usually hear about Gretzky and Lemieux. It is kind of strange the way things happen, isn't it? And you also hear about Denny Savard an awful lot these days, too. Here the Islanders in their own end. They clear the puck up the right wing to LaFontaine. He's 2-on-2 to the Penguins line. Breaks across, cutting down the left side. He's got great moves. Flip it in front. Riggin knocked it away with a stick. And Perry Ganchar. Slow and coming up. He's checked on the play from behind. Lauer just overpowered him on that play. That's a little case of not quite having the speed to get up on the play. Here is Kerr now back into the Penguins, and a turning shot. That stopped. The rebound. Hillier pulls down one of the Islanders. Play continues, and Bork flips that puck away off the board. There's a play there where Ganchar just didn't quite have the speed, or maybe was too tired to get the puck up ice, and the Penguins are guilty of an icing play, and it almost led to an Islander goal. That's why you see the difference, and I'm not putting a knock on Perry Ganchar because he's a new member of the Penguins, but the fine line is just such a fine line between that NHL's ability and the minor league ability, and he's right on that borderline right there. Right on that borderline from having NHL speed, which you would like to have, and it is noticeable. When you watch enough games, you can just tell that little quarter of a second difference sometimes that can lead to a different play. And Lauer that time showed that he has that speed coming back to check.
Not only that, but it's not as easy to skate at top speed when you're trying to handle a biscuit, and Ganchar was doing a lot of stick handling there, trying to move that puck up ice.
Now in front, a quick shot, and Riggin with a big save on Mikko Makela. When Makela was the terror of the National Hockey League in the early going, he had 19 goals. He has quieted down a bit. Puck played back into Islander territory. Greg Gilbert. Gilbert giving the puck to Thomas Janssen. Janssen going back in behind the Islander net. Played it up the stick of Cunningham. Comes to Lemieux, walking to the goal. Lemieux is pulled down. Penalty coming up against the Islanders. Lemieux still passes back in front. But Thomas Janssen gets the tripping calls. Lemieux broke in towards that goal. 2-2 the score. 4:02 to go in the second period on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I mean, they just dominate him. And you come in here and it's not even like the same team. I don't understand that. Well, you talk about NHL speed. Mario Lemieux knocking the puck down to the air and just tremendous acceleration. As soon as that puck was in the air, it was almost as if Lemieux knew what he was going to do with it once he settled it down. He went to the net and was hooked. Thomas Janssen goes off at 15:58, so the Penguins with another power play opportunity. And on our Stroh's power play contest, and by the way, we gave away $100 in the first period. Ken Goss of Pittsburgh will pick up a $100 bill. And this time it's Deborah Cope of Duquesne, Pennsylvania, going for $100.
Puck out of play out of the Islanders in. They'll bring the faceoff outside of the New York line. This afternoon, Washington beat the Edmonton Oilers without Wayne Gretzky 2-0. And Quebec losing to Boston 5-1. First period, the Flyers lead Vancouver 1-0 at Vancouver. The score to report to you on the U.S. Air scoreboard. Here we've got a 2-2 tie. Second period, Brian Trottier out killing the penalty with Greg Gilbert, Lemieux, Callender, and Cunnyworth on the front line. Phil Bourque carries it down the right wing into the Islanders in for Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth trying to flip it back, and it came up into the Penguin bench area, and Joe Malash made a save, the backup goaltender for the Penguins, as he knocked it down. They're in the first period at Toronto, no score in the first period. And New Jersey and Hartford, they're in the second period, no score there. Here again, it's 2-2. The Penguins and the Islanders battling for the fourth time this year. The Penguins been winning tonight, temporarily at least. They might move into a tie for first place with three other teams at the moment. But New Jersey and the Flyers are playing tonight also, along with the Rangers, who are in Minnesota in the Patrick Division. Penguins try to make a play now with the Islanders in. Bodger had a poke check nicely by Gilbert. And back to center ice. He has to retreat. Gives it to Bourque. Back to Bodger again. Lead pass to Lemieux. Swing a pass over to Callender with a backdoor maneuver. Down the right wing it goes to Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth, right point to Bodger. Doug Bodger settles it to Lemieux. 2-2 the score. Lemieux scored a shorthanded goal in the period. Back to Bodger. Left side Bourque is wide open. Here he comes. He shoots it, blocked. Off to Bodger. Round to Lemieux. Fakes a shot. Still dancing with the puck is Mario Lemieux. Lemieux wheel and deal. Around the net going to Cunnyworth. Looks back for Lemieux. Power play on with 49 seconds to go. And they give it to Lemieux again. Left point pass to Bourque. His shot deflected right in on Smith, and he'll stop it and hold it right there. Well, they want Lemieux to dance with the puck, and he's doing just that. Going to the prom.
And Phil Bourque, you know, you can see why he's effective on the power play, because he knows when to come up on the play and when to get back into position to set up on the point. He was right in on the doorstep waiting for a pass to come out from behind the net, hopes of being able to knock one in from right in front of Billy Smith. And then when he realized the Penguins weren't going to be able to make that play, he quickly darted back to that left point and got set up where he could take that shot. Unfortunately, it was blocked. But Phil Bourque, a smart player offensively on that blue line for the Penguins. He had 7 assists on the power play until being stopped. He had a scoring streak going until being stopped against Boston the other night.
If you joined us late, the Islanders led 1-0 at 9:44 of the first period on a power play goal. Troy Loney tied it for the Penguins at 19:46 with a man advantage. Lemieux on a shorthanded score to give the Penguins a lead, and then Trottier tied it. Here are the Penguins on a power play again. Islanders in, right point it comes to Hillier. He got it by Crom. He has room now. It's almost like a two-man advantage going to Lemieux. Lemieux into the right wing corner for Quinn. 23 seconds to go. Crom is back in the play. Right point, Hillier shoots it towards the net, blocked in front. And the Islanders clear. Potvin trying to get a handle on it. And now the Islanders with Crom driving the puck out. Good play by Richard Crom. Good hustle. Lemieux retreating. 8 seconds to go. And the Penguins apparently will not score in this power play chance. They will be 1 for 5 with the man advantage. Simmered off to Quinn. The Islanders read it nicely and give Richard Crom some credit. The penalty is over. Did a nice job. Janssen is back on. Crom working up to center. Look out. Here's Janssen trying to get around Hillier down the left wing with that speed, and he comes in against Hillier. Into the Penguins in, cutting behind the net, centers it, and it's broken up by Dan Quinn, who read the play nicely. Lead pass back to Lemieux. Mario going to the Islanders zone. And an offside call. Boy, that was a very close play there. Looked like the Penguins might have been onside on that play. I thought they were. A minute 42 to go.
Dan Quinn is barking at the linesman, too.
I think he's got a pretty good beef. I don't think he was offside when Mario brought that puck in. I really don't. Bobby Hodges and Wayne Bonney, the two linesmen.
Well, Janssen showing good speed. Randy Hillier tried to sweep check him at the red line and didn't get any much of the puck, and Thomas Janssen just kept on coming. Hillier got turned around and came right after him, but Janssen held on to the puck, centered it, and a good defensive play by Dan Quinn
to break up the centering pass. It was intended for the rookie Todd McClellan. And then the Penguins came up ice, and you could just see that Islander defense backing in on Mario Lemieux, and they called offside on the Penguins as they came across the line.
And the puck flipped into the Islanders' right wing corner. Gord Dineen back to take control of the puck. The Islander defenseman scoots up now to his own blue line with good speed. He comes to center, driving up to the Penguin left wing boards. And Ganchard takes control. Carries it behind his own net. He is knocked down on the play. Dahlquist to Pittsburgh around the left wing to Hunter. Hunter holds his ground very well on those wings, boy, and he now drives it off the sideboards back to the Islander line. Patrick Flatley to Dineen. 1:12 to go in the second period. Islanders lose possession. Perry Ganchard. Trip on the play by Dineen. Goes into the Islanders' end. Curran can't handle it. Here going for the puck is Dave Hunter. Knocked away to McElwain. McElwain trying to shoot it. He centers it back. Penalty coming up against the Islanders. Brian Curran's going to get a holding call as Hunter got that step around him and he had to pull him from behind, and Curran will sit down with 58 seconds to go. Well, before the Islanders scored that goal, I gave you that question. I just want to repeat it for the folks at home. You name 4 former Islanders who also played with the Penguins or vice versa.
2 for holding at 1902.
Well, Brian Curran holding Dave Hunter.
No, he's not one. Oh, no, that's...
and knocked him down from behind, and I think he held him on the ice is what happened. I don't think it was when Hunter was coming to the net. I think it was when Hunter was trying to get up that the call was made by the referee, Bill McCreary. Well, I'm thinking about this, but I haven't had time to much time.
I know you haven't. Well, I'll leave it till the third period. Just
okay.
Think a little bit. Don't go through my notes over here because I had to write them off the board. I'm not going to... I cheated, too. I mean, I looked at it on the board. I had it here at the Coliseum. But once you see the names, it's very easily comes back to you. All right, the Penguins on a power play for the final 58 of the period. We'll go by that clock. And let's see if they can cash in. Game is tied at 2. They scored late in the first period on a power play goal. Bodger with it. Directed over left point to Phil Bourque. Bourque of the Penguins to Lemieux. Mario back to Bourque. Right side going to Bodger. Turned around by Gilbert. Gilbert putting pressure on Bodger, skates it in deep. He'll go to Quinn. Right point to Randy Cunneyworth of the Penguins. Slap shot coming up. Good save, Smith. Rebound, and the Penguins can't get it. Here's Bourque firing, though, as he got it from the left wing circle. Save made. Quinn with the rebound shot. Smith the save, and it's clear.
3 big saves by Billy Smith right there in that sequence.
And back to the right of the Penguin goal. It'll be corralled now by Randy Cunneyworth. Billy Smith coming up tough. Here's Cunneyworth now to the Islander line. Long drive right on, and Smith makes the glove save. Tap it over to Dennis Potvin, and he will sail it up to center ice with 10 seconds to go in the period. Relay to Tom McClellan. His slap shot missed the Penguin goal. And it caroms all the way back to the Islander line. The period will end with a 2-2 tie. Well, we were tied at 1 at the end of the first period, and now looking at the scoreboard, it's still tied. Both clubs exchange goals. We played 2. The Penguins 2 and the Islanders 2, and the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, we're nearing the halfway point of the great puck race. Rapid Red with 7 victories towards the slight edge over Go-Go Green and the White Flash. They each have 6 wins.
The second period at 3:11 on a shorthanded goal. Dave Hunter with a pretty feed out. Lemieux just rung it off the post to the pier to the left of Billy Smith from the slot area.
Well, I'll tell you, that puck's hopping around again. Players have been talking about how much the puck is hopping around on Patrick Division rinks these days, including the ice surface at the Civic Arena. The puck was on edge when Lemieux just whacked at it and rung it off the post. Then the Islanders came back, a goal by Brian Trottier, cutting in on the backhand on Pat Riggin. He made one move, and Riggin came out and went for it, and Trottier able to hang on to that puck as he swept in front of Pat Riggin and put it into what was virtually an open net for his 16th of the year. Thomas Johnson assisting, and that tied it at 2.
Well, the Islanders, Stanley Cup winners 4 straight years. They won their first cup in 1980, then 81, 82, and 83. A pretty proud tradition here. They're 11-5-3 at home this year. The Penguins are 5-10-3 on the road. And we get ready for the third period.
Claire Bear of New Huntington, Pennsylvania, our contestant on the Giant Eagle Goal-Getter Contest. Mario Lemieux is Claire's goal-getter.
Get out. That's her name?
Claire
Get
Bear.
out.
You got it. and $800 worth of groceries.
All right, what are the 4 former Islanders that played with the Penguins?
Well, I first thought of Gord Lane,
yeah.
but he never played for the Penguins. He was just drafted by him. Andre St. Laurent, Pat Price, Brian Spencer, and Randy Boyd.
Well done. Very well done. All right, we go to the third, and the Penguins moving left to right. Tied at 2, and the Penguins are on a power play here to begin the period. Brian Curran in, but the Islanders have the puck, and they drive it to the Penguin net. Stopped by Pat Riggin. Trottier, very key moment here. The Islanders come out trying to be aggressive here and kill the penalty. Dan Quinn of the Penguins. Now Trottier banks into Bodger, and here is Bourque up in the play, shooting the puck into the Islanders in. Around to the far corner, Greg Gilbert. Around to Potvin looking for Trottier. Bodger kept it in the corner. Comes off the boards now to Quinn. Right point to Bodger. Have some room. He tried to pass it over. Now turns, circles, still keeps the puck to Quinn in his shot. And the right wing circle missed the net. Off the boards, left point to Bourque. Phil Bourque of the Penguins. Wheeling deal to the center point. Right side to Bodger. He'll cut for the net. He's got some room. He moves in, centers it for Lemieux, and he can't quite tee it up. Mario now drags the puck around the near side. Comes out to the center point. Passing left wing boards for Phil Bourque. Intercepted by Gerald Diddick, but he plays it right back to Lemieux, who's all over the ice right now. To Quinn. Back to Mario. 3 seconds to go in the penalty. Behind the net, going to Quinn. Quinn tried to center. He's knocked down by Potvin. Cunningham takes over. Behind the goal to Lemieux. He went right by him. Cunningham goes to the left wing side. Penalty has expired. Whipped in behind the Islander net, and Gerald Diddick has it there for the Islanders. He is bumped in the play by Quinn. Finally worked out, and a hand pass called against the New York Islanders. There'll be a face-off to the right of goaltender Billy Smith.
Ben Rupnick of Bridgeville, PA, was our contestant on that Stroh's power play, and Ben will receive 2 tickets to an upcoming Penguins game.
And the Penguins, that was their 6th power play chance. They are 1 for 6 on the night against the New York Islanders. We're tied at 2. Both clubs cashing into the first period on the power play. The Penguins getting a shorthanded goal here tonight also.
Penguins came out flying, hoping to get that goal early here in the third period and really establish something for this third, but the Islanders established something by killing it off.
Last time out, the Penguins won here in this building. It took a pretty good effort for the young kids on the Penguin club to do it. They scored 4 times in the third period after trailing 2-0. And Hillier now going to bang it away to the Islanders' left wing corner. Dave Hunter goes after it. Played away from him by Alan Kerr. Kerr loses the puck. Here's Dave Hunter on the slot. His wrist shot went right over the glove hand of Billy Smith. Smith a little slow in reacting on that shot. McElwain centers it. Perry Ganchar can't get a piece of it. And Steve Conroy, the Islander defenseman. Whip it back to center to Alan Kerr. Drive it off the boards in around the Penguin net. And Riggin bangs it away with a goaltender stick to Dahlquist after center to Ganchar. Behind the defense to McElwain, but he is offside on the play. And it's whistled down here, and they'll get a face-off outside of the Islander line. Perry Ganchar is one of those players, we've mentioned it over the last couple of games. It seems to get a little stronger as the game goes on. You look for him in situations maybe in the third period. The Islanders, you would think, might have a little advantage here. They did not play, of course, yesterday. The Penguins did, the only team in the NHL that, besides the Capitals, that played. And the Caps came right back strong today to win. Todd McClellan losing the draw, and Quinn wins it. The Penguins poke it back in behind the Islander goal. Number 31, goaltender Billy Smith. We'll leave it for Gord Dineen.
Was Malarchuk in goal today, or was it Pete Peters?
I think
Pete Peters is just...
Yeah.
Oh, all right, well, Pete Peters isn't ready yet. He was working out yesterday with their goaltender coach. He is just standing on his head this year when he's playing.
Crom drive it back into the Penguins end. The Islanders are offside on the play, coming to Penguin territory. Well, the Capitals winning, of course. The Edmonton Oilers without Wayne Gretzky. Mario Lemieux with a point, trying to gain some ground on Gretzky in the National Hockey League scoring race. Gretzky's out with a bad knee, and it has been just very few times in his career where he has been out of the lineup with an injury. Gretzky with 86 points, Lemieux now with 75. And Denny Savard right behind with 71. Now the Islanders back after the faceoff, pick the puck up in their own end. Curran, a rink-wide pass. Going out to Randy Wood. Draw it back into the Penguin zone. Behind the net, Buskus, and again an icing call against the New York Islanders. And that's going to bring it back to the right of goaltender Billy Smith. I think this is playing to the Penguins' hands right here with the lineup that they have. They'll wait, try and get a break here, and pick up a clean shot on goaltender Billy Smith in an effort to take the lead.
Pat Reagan was in goal when the Penguins beat the Islanders 4-2 in early November. They came from behind to do it. Riggin had played a strong game that night and was kind of quietly going about his business while the Penguins were trailing in that entire game, and he turned out to be a big factor in the Penguins' win that night, and he's playing a strong game here again tonight.
Buffalo and Toronto tied at 1 first period. At Toronto on the U.S. Air scoreboard, we've got a 2-2 tie early in the third. 17:15 to go. And Bodger whip it up now to Randy Cunneyworth, who will rifle it in behind the Islander net. Smith will leave it for Dennis Potvin. Potvin push it up left wing to Greg Gilbert. And the Islander forward. Wrap it around the right side, around the horn to the far wing of the Penguin zone. But Randy Cunneyworth flip it up ahead. We're going to get an icing call against the Penguins. And as we do, we'll take a timeout. Tied to 2, third period on the Penguins Hockey Network. Realize right now that the Patrick division has 5 teams 500 above 500 with the Capitals winning this afternoon. 5 of the 6 teams are above 500. Only the Rangers below.
They're really playing good hockey right now, the Rangers. They're coming on. They were playing good when they weren't winning against the Penguins.
Now they are at Minnesota tonight. Now the puck back into the Islanders in here. Bourque with a heavy shot that sails wide of the goal. Lemieux holds it in around the right wing. He has Paymont on the right wing, Cunneyworth on the left. Paymont takes a pass from Cunneyworth in the left wing corner. Will Paymont, signed as a free agent prior to the start of the year, comes out of the corner, cutting for the net, but had the puck roll off his stick, and the Islanders cruise back 4 men strong to the Penguins' end. Makela right wing go to Gilbert. Now Gilbert knocked down one of the Penguins. It was Bourque, and he'll be penalized here. The Islanders will be shorthanded. A hooking call coming up here against Makela as Hillier and Makela have words, and no time now for Randy to step in here. And Mario Lemieux realizes that too. The Islanders will be shorthanded. It's a great opportunity for the Penguins. We're tied at 2 right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Time of the penalty is 3:42. Gilbert of the Islanders, 2 for hooking at
Gilbert.
3:42.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said Gilbert.
No, I said Makela.
No, you said Gilbert knocked down Bourque. That's what you said the first time, yeah. What was the penalty? Okay. Well, the Penguins get their 7th power play chance with Gilbert going off for hooking at 3:42. That was not a good penalty for Gilbert to take in the offensive zone. Ron Kostelik of Butler, PA, is our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest.
And the turkey up on the table right now for the Penguins. Let's see if they can cash it in. Dan Quinn going into the Islanders' end down the left wing side to Phil Bourque. Driving it behind the Islander goal. Stopped by Billy Smith, the Conroy, and he can't move it out. Right point Bodger kept it in neatly. Over to Randy Cunneyworth. The Islanders putting pressure on right now, and they do force it back to center. Richard Crom was doing an excellent job of killing penalties tonight for the Islanders. Cunneyworth flip it back to his own line to Phil Bourque. Bourque's lead pass to Mario Lemieux. Step into the Islanders' end, trying to split the defense. Goes all the way to the left wing side, though. Drop pass to Bourque. Bourque had it stolen away. Look out. Lemieux is over to take a piece of it. Now checked away to the blue line, but the Islanders work it back to center. Todd McClellan doing the job there. And the Penguins pick it up with 1:10 to go. These power plays, especially on the road, they're so valuable, so important. Lemieux on the right wing side, giving the puck to Bodger. He'll move in, slide it over to Bourque, turns, rifles it, deflected. Cunneyworth after it. Johnson after him too, and it's played away and knocked out of the Islander zone by Pat Flatley. Trottier comes right over the boards, and on the ice, on the bench goes McClellan. Trottier's going to take that puck, and he'll swing it away.
It's kind of ironic, too, tonight, because the Islanders had given up 19 power play goals in 6 of their last 8 games, and now here they are killing the Penguins' power play left and right. The Penguins have had 7 chances and only 1 power play goal.
Back on the play is McElwain to the Islanders end. Going to Lemieux. He tries to cut in, holding that puck. Flipped it back. It comes to Hillier. Randy Hillier still with the possession of it. Near boards to Dave Hunter of the Penguins. In the Islanders zone behind the net. The McElwain back to Hunter, and his shot was stopped by Smith. Comes off the left wing side to Dahlquist. Dahlquist to McElwain. Potvin moved in. He can't clear. Trottier is going to be able to do it, though, and that should do it. 10 seconds to go. He spins it back to center to Pat Flatley. And the Islanders Well, I've killed 6 out of 7 power play chances against them. As on the ice in 1 second will be Greg Gilbert. Here he comes. Here's a lead pass McElwain to Ganchar. Islanders in left side. Over to Hunter, a wrist shot, and Smith went down to his knees to stop that. Dave Hunter again with the puck. Around the net to McElwain. He slides it towards the goal. Smith blocked it. Locked in by Ganchar. No, it wasn't either. I thought the puck went, but a stick came up behind. A stick of McElwain came on and hit the net, and we thought the puck had rolled in. We'll take a timeout. 2-2. We're still tied in the third period on the Penguins Hockey Network. McElwain's stick hit the net.
Yep. Twine, he tickled the twine. Thought it was the puck tickling the twine. Boy, Hunter and McElwain playing great tonight. That line is something. Calendar's playing center.
Well, the Penguins failing to score. They had a pretty good effort around that net. But it was the stick of McElwain that hit the back of the goal, it appeared. It made it pop out like the puck had gone in, and from the face-off up into the Islander bench. The Rangers have scored first at Minnesota. They lead 1-0 over the North Stars. So who's going to lose in the Patrick division? Anybody? Philly leads 1-0.
Boy, Kelly Rudy unable to play because of a concussion that he suffered. Conroy's skate, his teammate's skate, came up and hit him in the head. He played the last 4 minutes of a game with amnesia. He did not remember anything that happened in the last 4 minutes of the game. You hear the expression goaltenders being unconscious. He was really unconscious in that game. And he made 5 saves and wasn't even aware of what he was doing out there.
Alan Kerr skates it back into the Penguins end. Down the right wing boards. Pulls up, looks for a trailer. Got him. And Deneen, his slap shot block penalty coming up against the Penguins. And the Islanders are going to have a power play. And now with 13:36 to go in the third period, we are tied at 2 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Better go to the box, Bussy. You're going to get 2 more.
Pittsburgh penalty, number 7, Rod Buskus, 2 minutes for Griffin. Time of the penalty is 6:24. Buskus of the Penguins.
Rod Buskus of the Penguins sits down, a tripping call at 6:24, and we're back into that situation I talked about earlier. How many games are being decided in the National Hockey League by power plays on penalty calls in the third period? Well, I didn't see. I don't know the exact number on it, but we're seeing a lot more games decided on the refereeing really having a great deal to do, I believe, with the game the way it turns out a lot of times. And I think if you ask most players and most people involved, they don't want to see that happen. They just don't want the referee to have the leading edge in what and how a game is decided. And then they get arrogant about it at times. If you question anything, and that was the case yesterday with Mike Noah. McCreary has been very, very sound, I think, here tonight, but yesterday's situation with some of the things that were said to Mike Noah and how he reacted and the penalties he tacked on to the Penguins were kind of astonishing if the truth is in the credibility of what people have said. Here's Henry, though, into the Penguins in on the power play, coming to the Penguin zone, going behind the net, centers it, and it was deflected off LaFontaine's stick. Now Lemieux feed it out the boards. Look out, he might have a chance here. Feed it across. Here's Hunter alone. Hunter breaks in with Lemieux. Hunter to the net, is shot, and he's stopped by Billy Smith. Big save by Smith. Dave Hunter missing that opportunity, shorthanded. He had Lemieux open on the left side, but Dave Hunter took the right shot there. No question about it. Billy Smith just came up top. Big save. And now drop back into the Penguins in out the boards. Knocked in by LaFontaine. Oh, great falls at fire. The Islanders get a break and a half there. Came off the corner board after Billy Smith had denied Hunter, and they get an easy gift goal. 3-2 New York.
Well, Pat LaFontaine had a beautiful opportunity earlier in the game, a glorious chance to score and hit the post. And you got to figure the Penguins got a big break then. And now this time the puck comes off the boards, and Pat LaFontaine gets the goal he wanted earlier in the game. And it was a gift right on the doorstep, and all he had to do was deposit it into the net, with Pat Riggin having gone behind the net to play that puck coming around the boards. You can't blame Riggin for that. He's coming out to stop that puck behind the boards. That's just a natural move by the goaltender. And up at the other end, a great save leading to the goal, and that's what happens often. Dave Hunter coming in, and Billy Smith, all he did was stand his ground, and the puck went right off the stick. Hunter tried to find the inside of the left post on the stick side, and Smith just stood his ground and made the save with his stick.
So LaFontaine scored. Yes, a power play goal, and the Islanders have the lead in the third period. Here's Bodger left point. He shoots one. And that is stopped apparently by Billy Smith. I don't see the puck. I don't know where it went. Yeah, it went off a stick apparently and up into the seats. Conroy and Janssen get assist on the goal after the Penguins just moments before that had an opportunity and a 2-on-none. Coming in, Lemieux just feathered that puck through on a brilliant pass to Hunter, and he walked in. And really, he just didn't have the time to get the puck back to Lemieux. He had the room and everything to make that play, and Hunter came in and took the right move, I believe. But Billy Smith just made a better save on him.
Smith just basically stood there and let the puck hit him, which is oftentimes the best way to do it.
3-2 New York. Power play goal. They've scored 2 tonight from right behind the Islander net. And here's Dennis Potvin. Roll it up ahead to Brian Trottier. Trottier at center. Sneak it back into the right wing corner. Bodger goes in. The Islanders double team him, but Dan Quinn able to capture it. Wind it around the boards for Troy Loney. Can't get it out. Potvin right side to Mikko Makela. Makela wristing one. That's deflected. Gilbert goes after the puck. Leaving this for Makela. Centered out between the circles, and Troy Loney breaks up that play. Loney of Pittsburgh. Right at the Islander line, or the Penguin line. Islanders force it back in, and Doug Bodger able to take possession. Left wing pass to Scott Gruel. Quinn, Gruel, and Loney, the trio out now for the Penguins. Quinn at center with Loney on the right wing and Scott Gruel on the left side. But the Islanders have the puck, and Dennis Potvin gliding along the ice. Long shot. Stopped by Riggins' glove hand. He'll tap it over to the near boards. Lemieux is back on. Run into by Dale Henry of the Islanders. Hillier comes over to help the play, and out the right wing to Paymont. He just steers it back into the Islanders into the rink. Back to get it to be Gord Dineen. 11:28 to go, third period. 3-2 New York leading. The Islanders on top. Dale Henry now going to Pittsburgh ice. Run it across. Broke up the pass, and he has to take the puck in behind his own goal. Phil Bourque defensively pulled down by Flatley. We've got another penalty coming up. We're going to see him all night long, apparently. 11:13 to go here in the third. 3-2 New York on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Flatley, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty is 8:47. Flatley of the Islanders, 2 for hooking at 8:47.
Now Phil Bourque draws a penalty for the second time in this period, coming out of his own end, hauled down by Flatley, hooking at 8:47. Anthony Padol of Pittsburgh, our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest.
So it's the Penguins now going to work on the power play. And they have it in the Islanders there. The Islanders with 2 power play goals. Quinn to Bodger, back to Quinn near side in the Islanders zone. To Bodger again. Bodger's shot blocked by Todd McClellan. And it comes through the center to Richard Croft. He's bumped in the play by Cunningham. Quinn takes over. Roll it ahead down to Lemieux. Back into Islander territory. 3-2 the Islanders lead. Lemieux still controls that puck. Left point to Bourque. Bourque back to Mario. Mario in the left wing corner. Being pressured by Crom. Throw it in behind the net to Cunningworth. He comes out. He might have a shot here. Doesn't take it. Looks for someone breaking. Instead he goes to Quinn near corner. Back to Cunningworth. 1:10 to go. Off the right point to Bodger. He'll shoot one. Then it hits Smith's leg or hits somebody. It goes behind the net. Now Bourque has it. He tried to center it out. Smith reaching with a glove, and he grabs a loose puck and has possession. Billy Smith reaching up with that left paw to haul it in.
Penguins controlling the puck extremely well in that power play, getting good movement. People stepping into holes and trying to look for that pass to maybe get a good scoring chance. But for some reason, they just never made that one pass to get that guy open. And now Pierre Kramer will send another unit onto the ice. You really had that feeling the Penguins had something going on that power play, but it never really developed. Doug Bodger finally took a shot from the point that hit a stick. I think Quinn got a stick on that, trying to deflect it in. It went way wide of the net. Then Bourque tried to center it out. It hit a body and came up in the air, and Billy Smith grabbed it around that cage and hung on.
The left wing circle, the Islanders zone. Dennis Potvin has it, gave it away to Bourque, and his slap shot will miss the target. Did he? Fanned partially, but here's Trottier, and he's so adept at getting that puck out of his own end, and he just flips it away. It goes back into Penguin real estate with 45 seconds to go. Bourque with a soft little pass over to Dave McElwain. McElwain to Lemieux. Back to McElwain. Storms up on the play to the Islander line. He'll break across. 3-2 the Islanders lead. Push it to the net. Smith stops it right there over to Gilbert. Whack it. Not out though. Bork with a good play to keep it in with the glove. Bork fakes a shot. Going near corner now to Hunter. 25 on the penalty. McElwain back to the right point to Bork. 3-2 the Islanders lead. Pass coming off into the right wing circle. Dave Hunter corrals it. He goes around it to McElwain in front to Gantar. He's stopped by Smith. The rebound and he shot it wide. McElwain trying to stuff it in and he can't do it. And Billy Smith, the difference right now, the goaltending of Billy Smith in this game. He's coming up big in the third period. Lemieux storms back. 1 second to go on the penalty. And right back in behind the Islander goal. Billy Smith will leave it for Thomas Johnson. Boy, when the money's on the line. And here's Lemieux now. And one of the Islanders, Bob Basson, having words. When the money's on the line, we've seen it before with Billy Smith. He just seems to get tougher. And right now, he's in one of those moods, and he is doing it. Rangers lead Minnesota 2-0 now, first period.
Boy, Dave Hunter's having a tremendous game for the Penguins here tonight. He's just had so many opportunities. He made a play out in front of Ganchar, and Ganchar just one time that puck, and Billy Smith got the right pad out to stop Harry Ganchar. And Dave McElwain came around trying to stuff it in, and Smith stopped him from coming out in front.
Calgary and St. Louis in the first period. They are tied at 2. We've got penalties coming up to Lemieux and Basson, apparently. Coincidental minors at the 10:51 mark of the third period. I was just checking power play goals. The record is 99 in one season. The Penguins own that, along with the Islanders. Already this year, Winnipeg, in 36 games played, has 56 power play goals. The Rangers in 38 have 63. Chicago with 53. Washington with 49 going into action. They had 3 yesterday, so they have 52. And you can see, I think that record is going to be broken easily. That's where we're getting a difference in the power play goals in the league. And what I'm talking about, and maybe making a difference in many, many games.
Wilf Paymon was saying today that, hey, guys like Gilbert Perreault can still be playing and can play a couple of more years because they're power play specialists, and they can stay out there and they can serve a purpose for their team.
Like a designated hitter in baseball. Yeah, he certainly can.
He also said that the guys who don't play special teams aren't getting the ice time they used to get.
Now to the right of goaltender Billy Smith. Lemieux off for roughing, Basson for slashing. Coincidental minors at the 10:51 mark, and the Islanders with the lead, 3-2. LaFontaine lead pass too far for Kerr. Kerr and Loney go after it, back into the Penguins' end. Loney kicked at it. He had a stick held now. But Hillier helps the play. Going to Quinn. Lead pass to Scott Gruel. 1-on-2 to the Islanders' end. Cuts across into the slot. Makes a nice move, but he's turned around enough on the play. Lost his glove. Now put back out in front. Here's Gruel after it again, but he can't quite tee it up. And the Islanders flip it back to center. Pat LaFontaine moving back into the Penguins' end. Boy, can he skate. LaFontaine on the right side. Quinn finally catches up to him. Played it over to Diddick, though. His shot deflected, and it just went wide. To the left of Pat Riggin. Dahlquist. A giveaway at center ice to Dennis Potvin. He's right back into the Penguins' end. Looks for LaFontaine. Moving to the net. Tried to shoot it. Hillier got a piece of that. And Dahlquist takes over. Dahlquist, the Penguin defenseman, around the far side. Jock Callender. Steer it up to center to Gruel. Both players started the year at Muskegon in the International League. An errant pass there taken away by Randy Wood. He is decked on the play by Bodger. Potvin back into the Penguins' end, however. Cuts across the ice. Shoots it, and Riggin makes a save. Rebound. Wood. Save made. LaFontaine is there. Can he shoot it? He can't. He's pulled down. And the puck is underneath one of the Penguins. I don't think we're going to see any penalties now the rest of the way. There could have been one there, I think, pretty easily against the Pens. But now you're in a dilemma. You can't call anymore.
Doug Bodger just playing his guts out there on practically one leg. Randy Wood was hip checked at center ice. I don't know if he was tripped or not by Bodger. Bodger had to hustle to get back into the play. It was a 2-on-1 break. Potvin decided to hang on to it, took the shot. Riggin stood his ground and made the save. The rebound was in front. And Callender coming back checking on Wood, so Wood couldn't get a shot away. Bodger diving to the ice to try to get to the puck. LaFontaine came up with it and took a shot, and I think Riggin may have gotten a piece of that.
Cunneyworth cross-checked him pretty good and just knocked him flat on his face as he was trying to shoot the puck. Face-off won by the Penguins. 7:48 to go in the third period. 3-2 the Islanders lead. And Jock Callender relays it up to Dan Quinn of the Penguins. He'll bang it away in behind the Islander goal. The difference right now in this third period has been the goaltending of Billy Smith. He has stopped Hunter on a breakaway and several other key shots. And the Islanders have converted on a power play goal by Pat LaFontaine. And it was a gimme goal, believe me. Here's Buska shooting the puck around the near side. Out of the Penguins end, Paymont. That's going to carry him off the boards right to the net and handled by Billy Smith. Sweep it around to the far wing. Randy Wood behind the goal. Gets it back now. A lead pass to Thomas Janssen. 3-on-3 rush to the Penguins in. Cuts across the line. Into the Penguin zone. Flip it to the left of Riggin. He'll just look at the puck as Bork takes it. He tried to play it out of the zone. Could not. And it finally does come to Cunneyworth. Back to center to Will Paymont of the Penguins. He'll bang it back into the Islanders in, and Cunneyworth was upended by Richard Crom. The Islanders carry it to their own line with 6:45 to go in regulation time. It is 3-2 New York. And Brian Curran now snaps the puck back into the Penguin right wing corner. Bork defensively is back. Lead it around the near wing to Ganchar. Out to center to McElwain. Right back to Ganchar, who took it. Ganchar trying to split the defense and go through. He can't. Dean swings him wide. Curran moving around to the near side. And here Dave Hunter again moving the puck to the right point to Randy Hilliard. Near side over to McElwain. McElwain couldn't quite hold on to it. Now in front of Ganchar to McElwain. He's there and he doesn't shoot it. He tried to pass it back, I think, to Ganchar. He's got to shoot the puck in that situation. One of those two guys has to do it. Ganchar has been denied on a couple of occasions here by Smith in the third period, and Davey McElwain, I think, tried to make the perfect play. Now back come the Islanders. Lauer rips one to the Penguin net on a wrist shot. Riggin will make that stop. Along the far boards. Played back in behind the Penguin goal. Hillier giving the puck back to Dave Hunter. Hunter with 5:50 to go in the third period. Cuts his way to the Islander line. Dropped it over for Ganchar. It's a little behind him, and LaFontaine steers it back to center red. Right wing to Kerr. Push it up into the Penguin zone, and defenseman Chris Dahlquist had the puck. Gave it away to LaFontaine. LaFontaine to Lauer. Lauer gave it right in the slot to Dan Quinn, but the Penguins can't get it out. LaFontaine left side, a slap shot. That'll miss. And off the board, Scott Gruel. Gruel played it up a skate right back to center circle, and LaFontaine again flips it into the Penguins in. Riggin spins it away from the net. And here's Troy Loney cruising back for the Penguins on the attack of the Islanders line. Shoot it towards the net. Billy Smith will stop it with 5:12 to go in regulation time. 3-2. The Islanders lead the Penguins. Work to the right wing corner. Conroy defensively for New York. Steve Conroy can't move it away. Gruel takes the puck, turns and shoots it 10 feet wide of the net. And Randy Wood skates back for the Islanders. Randy Wood going to the Penguin line. Drop off now to McClellan. Breaks deep in behind the Penguin net. Todd McClellan can't center it, and Hillier's played a strong game defensively for the Penguins. Makes another nice defensive move. Steve Conroy flips it right back into the Penguin right wing corner, and Phil Bork now with 4:40 to go in the third period. 3-2 the Islanders lead.
And we need a whistle to get Mario Lemieux back on the ice.
Curran going for it. Yeah, Lemieux has put in that box on coincidental minors, and we have not had one. Lemieux has not been able to get on. He has been in that penalty box almost 5 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Tap back to the Penguin net, and Riggin will leave the puck for Doug Bodger. Well, you're in a case like this, you almost want to take an icing call, don't you? Really, to get him back on. Bang right back into the Penguins' left wing corner. Bodger has the puck. He shoots it up to center. Going forward is McElwain. McElwain trying to get around Curran. Does. Makes a move. Slide it over left side. Check back in front. Dave Hunter was too well covered by a check, and it's played away by the Islanders. Back down to the Penguins into the rake again.
Another time when it might have been a good idea for McElwain to take a shot there, although he felt that he had Hunter cutting in towards Billy Smith.
Buskus passing to Dan Quinn. He'll shoot it to the Islander net. Billy Smith will leave it for Deneen. Back to center. And now here's Hillier playing the puck over the glass. I think Randy realized that Lemieux had not been on the ice. 3:41 to go in regulation time. 3-2 Islanders on the Penguins Hockey Network. Six minutes and 50 seconds. Now, somebody on the bench has got to realize that.
I know. That's why I said it.
Well, the Penguins trailing by a goal, and they will get to the Islander line where it's stopped by Gerald Diddick. Lemieux gets it back from him. Shoot it into the Islanders in. Cunneyworth after it left wing corner. Goes for Paymont in front of the net. Trying to turn and stuff it in and hit the side of the goal. Paymont behind the net. It's played away, and Lemieux works it up the board. Lemieux is turned around by LaFontaine, who got the stick into him. Along the near wing, Cunneyworth still plays it to the corner for Lemieux. Held by Potvin. There'll be no penalties the rest of the way now. No matter what happens, I just have that feeling. Near on the left side, it goes to Cunneyworth. Slap shot and Smith again. Rob him with a heavy slap shot from the left wing circle.
Well, that was like a third baseman taking a line drive down the line, and it would have almost ate him up. And he was able to get his glove up and snag that puck. Just a great glove save by Billy Smith. Pure reaction there on the slap shot by Randy Cunneyworth.
And here you've got a game, if it remains the same, with only 20 shots the Penguins have had. They did not have a shot until the first 13 minutes in. But if you got to name a number one star, the difference in the hockey game, right now it's Billy Smith. There's no question about it.
The Penguins have outplayed the Islanders in this game, I think, from beginning to end, to be honest with you. Billy Smith with a great glove save. That was even more of a good save than I thought, because I thought it came right at him, but he had to reach for that puck.
And they're alive and shouting Billy here at the Coliseum in New York. And Thomas Johnson giving the puck over to Ryan Trottier. Trottier throws it back to center, and Doug Bodger works it right back in around the Islander net. Oh, Smith almost misplayed that puck after all the great saves. It'd be kind of ironic that one went in on him on a play like that. Here's Trottier dumping the puck back into the Penguin zone. The left wing corner. Gilbert goes in against Dahlquist, and Dan Quinn of Pittsburgh handles the puck. He got it out across the line. Gilbert shoots it in, and we've got an offside play against the Islanders. 2:34 to go in regulation time. 3-2, New York leading on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Lemieux, John, and Mackel. He's still talking to him.
Well, the Islanders continue to hold a one-goal lead here in the third period. They've outshot the Penguins 21-20.
This line of McElwain, Hunter, and Gancher have had a lot of chances here in the third period. Pierre Kramer going back to him here for this big face-off, and the Penguins control it.
And Chris Dahlquist sneaking up the right wing boards. And his spot man banked it away and goes back to the Penguin net area. They were without Lemieux. It comes from front and touched by Dahlquist. The Penguins without Mario Lemieux in the period on a 2-minute minor penalty, but due to the necessity of a whistle, they did not have him on the ice for 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So he was not on the ice. They couldn't get a whistle. And finally, Randy Hillier finally played it away. It looked to be kind of deliberate there on his part. Boy, you got to have somebody realize in that situation, it would seem first and foremost, you've got your leading scorer, the second man in the league, and you got to be thinking about that. Somebody has to be. Try and get an icing call or stop the play, because he's just too valuable to you offensively in a game, especially when you're trailing.
Well, Billy Smith, like Gilles Meloche, 37 years old. He turned 37 on December 12th, his 16th season, and he's playing like a kid tonight.
McElwain, Barry Ganchar on the right wing, and Hunter on the left side for the Penguins in the Islander zone. Right wing circle. Trottier against McElwain, the rookie against the veteran now. And the veteran comes away with it, and it's played off the far boards back deep down by the Islanders. Dahlquist hurries back again, and another icing call against New York. Well, the Penguins will take those all night long, just hoping now that they can win a few faceoffs.
Well, Doug Bodger must just be talking to himself and losing his mind. He just collided with somebody over on the far boards and went down in a heap, and he got up slowly again. And you know that knee is just bothering him, and he's just not able to get out of the way of people like he normally can. He just doesn't have that same quickness in his legs to be able to do what he normally does on the ice.
I'll tell you, pretty standout performance again by the Penguin defensemen tonight. 2 power play goals scored by the Islanders, and they have really played very well. And in a shorthanded situation, and Don Charlesworth coming up, taking a few shifts for the Penguins, but they basically have just had to pull it up and go as hard as they can. It's been a tough job against some battered, bruised people. Now here's Makela coming to center. Makela, after the Islanders won the draw, and again, a very important face-off situation, losing the puck to Cunneyworth on the right wing. Lemieux breaks for the net. Cunneyworth tried to go that way, but the pass was behind him, and Greg Gilbert steers it off the boards, and back down the Penguins in. The Islanders are playing a little bit defensive right now, and the Penguins might be able to take advantage of it. Here's Hillier cruising back. He's going to go in deep. Going to the left wing corner. Randy puts it behind the net for Dan Quinn. 3-2 the Islanders lead. Quinn tied up by Greg Gilbert. They put the skates against the puck on the boards. And now Gilbert falls down. The puck's still free. The Penguins trying to throw it out in front. It goes to Lemieux. He centers it, but Makela read the play, and he was right there. Makela guns back for New York, and he's going to flip it easily to the Penguin net area. 1:23 to go in the third period. 3-2, New York leading. Here are the Penguins back on the play to center. Cunneyworth into Islander ice, and an offside play. No, it wasn't either. They did call it offside. They let it go, and it comes back in front. Here's Cunnyworth shooting. That was off a stick, going to the left wing corner. Penguins going to pull their goaltender right now. Pat Riggin comes off. Quinn with the puck. Right behind that to Cunnyworth. The extra attacker is Loney. Right in front of Lemieux. He couldn't stop it in. And LaFontaine winds it around. Bork keeps it in. Penguins have the extra attacker on. Loney to the corner. Conroy played it away. LaFontaine has it. Turns. He comes back to center. We're going to get a penalty situation. Cunnyworth and one of the Islanders battling. Cunnyworth's got to get back on side. The Penguins have the puck. Here's Dahlquist losing possession. 42 seconds to go. And back in behind the Penguin net. And it'll be an icing call against the New York Islanders. Boy, Cunnyworth battling with Thomas Johnson back and the Islanders in. And that's no time to be fighting. You got to get back out of that zone because you've got the extra man on. Cunnyworth was saying, I'm being held by Johnson. This has been a crazy game. It has. 3-2, the Islanders lead. Toronto leads Buffalo 2-1 at the end of one on the U.S. Air scoreboard.
Well, now Pierre Kramer will go to the chalkboard, if you will.
And he wants a timeout. And a pretty good move here because he gives not only a chance to set his play up, he also has an opportunity to let Lemieux and the rest of the troops who were just on get an extra rest here and get ready for the final moments. But the Islanders have gotten the big goaltending so far in this third period by Billy Smith, and they've been very, very efficient at winning faceoffs here too, and the Penguins have had opportunities on the Islanders' end.
You know what, Mike? It's really weird how the Penguins against the Islanders in Pittsburgh, they have more trouble with them in Pittsburgh than they do here on the island, at least this year, because the Islanders just look like a much better hockey club at the Civic Arena than they do here at home. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the Penguins playing a more defensive game on the road, and they don't give the Islanders as many opportunities offensively, but Penguins, I think, have outplayed the Islanders tonight and deserve more. And the reason they haven't been able to get more is because of Billy Smith, who made a number of big saves in the third period and one on the breakaway by Dave Hunter.
Well, we still have 38 seconds to go. We'll see if the Penguins could poke in the tying goal and maybe force overtime. The Rangers lead Minnesota now 3-1 in the first period. Boy, the North Stars really have a tough time at home, don't they? And the Flyers lead 3-0 over Vancouver in the second period. So those Patrick Division teams are winning.
Well, a big face-off here, and again, Pierre Kramer going with the guys that were doing the job here in the third period. Dave Hunter out there. Randy Cunningham, he's got all his goal scorers on the ice right now. Hunter, a guy will crash the net a little bit.
Pat Riggin out of the goal for the Penguins. Face off in the Islanders in right wing circle to the left of Billy Smith. 38 seconds to go. Quinn to handle the face-off for the Penguins with Hunter and Cunnyworth, Loney, Lemieux, and Bodger. Trottier for the Islanders to handle the draw. And it's dropped loose in the circle. Who will get it? Alan Kerr trying to get it, and Quinn comes up with it, centers it. Lemieux can't get to it. Dave Hunter does. Hunter whipped one. Where'd that? He golfed it almost. Did it hit an Islander or not? No, it did not. Hunter turned to try and shoot the puck towards the net, and he just got it underneath it and 9-ironed it up into the seats. Now call for the faceoff outside of the Islander line with 29 seconds to go. The go-ahead goal in this third period. Pat LaFontaine is 26th of the year.
Pierre Kramer now having Randy Cunningham come over and yelling some instructions to him where he wants him to stand on this face-off situation. Obviously, trying to get some more people behind the play in case that puck is drawn back so that the Penguins can move the puck into the Islanders' end of the ring.
Trottier with LaFontaine and Alan Kerr with Potvin and Gerald Diddick on the backside. The face-off left there, right at the blue line, poked into the left wing corner by Cunningham, who went after that puck. And Diddick trying to clear, can't do it. It comes off the left wing side with 20 seconds to go to Bodger. Wristing one towards and that block. Lemieux takes a shot. Stop. Rebound in front. Where is it? Knocked away. It comes off the near side. The Penguins came that close to scoring, or did it go in? And the net is off the moorings. That's what happened. Bill McCreary pointing to the net. The Penguins had that puck lined right on the goal mouth to the left of Billy Smith, and nobody could get in to knock it home.
And Doug Bodger, again, and we've been talking about this throughout the game, he almost got killed again. Alan Kerr, who is just he's just been an incredible jinx to the Penguins. Alan Kerr collided with Doug Bodger along the boards. This puck was lying right on the goal line, and the Penguins just couldn't get to it. Lemieux came that close to getting the goal. It went off of Billy Smith. It was laying right in the crease, and LaFontaine, who's had a strong game tonight, was able to clear that away from Billy Smith. And then Bodger collided with Alan Kerr along the near boards. You just wouldn't have believed it.
And Lemieux reached around from behind the net and almost got that puck. That would have been an incredible goal by Lemieux.
the butt end of Billy Smith's stick was just sticking out, and it was between the puck and the goal line, and I think that's why Lemieux had a little extra trouble getting enough leverage to get that puck into the net.
Well, they pay him to stop the puck tonight. He's earning his money. 13 seconds left.
Well, you have that feeling the Penguins were going to get the tying goal here, and they came that close.
Win again against Trottier. 3-2, the Islanders lead. Drop of the puck. It's back in play. The Penguins have it 10 seconds to go. Bodger around the net to Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth of Pittsburgh. Knocked down by Trottier. Big effort there by Trottier. And it goes the length of the ice. It'll be an icing call, or will it? No, the Islanders will let time run out. It's all over. Penguins never did get back, and the Islanders have defeated the Penguins. The final score tonight, the New York Islanders 3 and the Pittsburgh Penguins 2 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Okay. What's game due to injury? What the hell's that? What does that mean? Game due to injury.
3 of top 4 defensemen out of game due to injury.
Okay.
That wasn't a problem tonight. Billy Smith. He won the game.
Well, the Islanders win it here with a third period goal by Pat LaFontaine, and the goaltender of Billy Smith definitely the difference in this hockey game, especially in the third period when he came up very tough against the Penguins. The final score, the Islanders win it 3-2. Looking at the game summary tonight for both these clubs, the Penguins power play had a tough time of it, Paul, as they scored only 1 of 8 power play goals. The Islanders had a couple of power play goals. Billy Smith had 19 saves tonight, but very, very strong performance in goal, especially when it counted, and he was able to turn the Penguins away. And 3 of the 4 top Penguin defensemen out of the lineup due to injury also, and a pretty gutsy performance by the Penguin Blue Liners, who again had to come in and do the job and try and keep the Islanders off the board. A power play goal, again, decides a hockey game in the third period, and we're seeing more and more of that in the National Hockey League.
And a goofy goal, too, to say the least, but Pat LaFontaine may be getting some justice from the gods, because he had hit the post earlier in the game and was able to find a gift right on the goal crease and just tuck it in for the winning goal.
Shots in the final period, the Penguins with 7, the Islanders with 6. The game total is 21 apiece, and they don't give 3 stars here. They give just 1 star. They gave that to Brian Trottier. I won't argue that he played a terrific game tonight for the Islanders, but the difference in the hockey game, I believe, was the goaltending of Billy Smith in the third period. Reminder to you, the Penguins back in action coming up on Tuesday night from the Civic Arena when they face the Los Angeles Kings, and our broadcast time on our Penguin Radio Network only will be coming up at 7:20. We want to look at other scores, gentlemen, before we go here, or not? Now, quickly, Philadelphia leads Vancouver 3-0 in the second. New Jersey and Hartford tied at 1 in the second. Toronto leads Buffalo at the end of 1, 2-1. St. Louis 3-2 over Calgary at the end of 2. The Rangers now lead 3-1 over Minnesota in the second period. Washington beat Edmonton 2-0 this afternoon. And Boston 5, Quebec 1 at the Garden this afternoon. This one, the final score. The Penguins lose to the Islanders 3, and the Penguins 2. And for Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang saying so long, and this is the Penguins Hockey Network.
The proceeding has been a special presentation of ICENET, the Islanders Championship Entertainment Network.
Coverage you can find. At National Security Brokerage, our clients are #1, and we promise you will always get the very best coverage tailored for your needs. We understand living on Long Island because we do too. We're all Islanders, and if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders!